I fucking tried. I goddamn tried. I tried to do cool entrance and I chose the wrong goddamn video. Whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. I'll try again. We tried. I chose the wrong goddamn. Which one is the one with the thunder strike? Whatever. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an extra spooky, which is the one with the thunder strike. I'm finding a better one. Hold on. Is this the one? When is it my turn to be happy? When is it my turn to be happy, huh? When is it my turn to be happy? I don't know what fucking music to use for this goddamn stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an extra spooky, extra fun. Hello, Eden Core. Hello, Colleen. You're in the VC. Hi, Tofu. Hi, Zodi. Hi, Satyr. Hi, Cloaked. Hi, Blue. Hi, Mel. Welcome, everybody, to an extra spooky, not very spooky, more historical, because nothing is scarier than 1800s homophobia type spooky deep dive. I'm your host, as always, Shy the Chew, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, getting my Pugsley Adams costume for a potential family dinner. You know what? Pop off. I'm here with my lovely guest, Colleen.
Hi.
Colleen is here.
Always.
Always.
I just woke up.
You did. Colleen hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
He's gay and homophobic at the same time. Okay, I love this. So true. And everyone soon will understand why that's so true. Now, before we begin, Colleen.
Yes.
What do you know about Dracula as a whole?
I tried to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I really fucking tried. I couldn't get through it.
Skill issue, but continue.
It was hard for me to read, but I read a graphic novel version of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched Nosferatu.
I see.
So, but I also definitely fell asleep while watching Nosferatu.
Okay.
So, I know Dracula exists.
What do you know about vampires as a whole?
Yes.
When you hear vampires, what do you think?
Dracula.
Any specific things about vampires?
And shit, man. That's blood-sucking, that very sad, glittery guy.
You mean Edward?
Yeah.
Thank you, Eden. They're sexy. That was the answer I was looking for. Vampires are sexy.
I didn't know that was the answer to.
It should have been.
Looking for.
But today we're gonna go over why are they sexy. Besides the obvious, there's canonic. There's historical reasons.
There's historical canon reasons as to why vampires are in fact sexy.
Yes, that's how it goes. Homie and they made vampires canonically sexy. Like, we all know vampires are sexy, but why? Why are they sexy? That is what we're gonna find out today. That is what we're gonna find out today. Are you excited?
Very, always. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Everybody,
all cozy.
You better be cozy, because I'm about to make you not cozy with history and spookies.
I didn't like to let you know that I love history in a unironic way. I'm such a fucking nerd.
I'm so excited.
Let's go.
Let's go. Everybody, welcome to the Dracula and Vampire Lore Deep Dive!
Listen, Emily, every time you remind me that JoJo technically started off as a vampire anime, I lose years off of my life.
No, trust me. Every time I remember the beauty of season 1, I cry a lot.
It's just my baseline knowledge of JoJo got shook the day I learned it started as a vampire story.
Well,
I
everybody.
thought it was just a bunch of guys going around on a very fun, quirky adventure.
No, that's only part 3.
These are words.
Well, it's the third part of the series.
Because Emily would tell me shit, and I was like, oh, yeah, JoJo, because XYZ happens, right? And they're like, what? I'm like, I think that's in a different part that you guys aren't watching. My bad.
Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, we're not here to talk about JoJo. We're not here to talk about JoJo. We're here to talk about Dracula and vampire lore. Welcome. I need to preface this by saying we're going into trigger warning, homophobia.
Oh, joy.
And also trigger warning, racism and anti-Semitism.
Joy!
Because it's Victorian era England.
No one can be happy.
No one can be happy.
No one can be happy.
It's It's the 1890s. Racism is in, and he wrote a novel about it. Listen, don't worry, I'll get into it.
Go.
Anyway,
very cool.
Very cool. Gasp. Very cool and epic. So welcome back to Lore School. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Of course.
School.
Welcome. You gotta pay attention. You gotta take notes, and you gotta ask questions if need be. You gotta be respectful, because we're gonna be covering some fun shit, so let's do this. Who's ready? I'm ready. Woo! Ahem. Disclaimer. I am not a Dracula expert. This is just for funsies, just casual fun funsies. Please do not be mean to me. I'm just a little guy. If you think you know more and want to be a dick about it, you're gonna get banned. Okay, let's be nice. If I say something wrong, correct me, but nicely. Goddamn. Thank you. If you leave this PowerPoint and don't think vampires are gay, then you're wrong.
Let's go.
That is just a concrete fact. Colleen is our little court jester, and we love them. So, how is this gonna go? It's kind of like this. It kind of changed as I did it, but it's still pretty much the same. So first we're going to go over who was Bram Stoker, the author behind Dracula. Yes. A quick summary of Dracula, the novel. It also includes a section about how vampire lore has changed in modern pop culture, what's a constant, what has been really touched on in recent adaptations. Dracula adaptations, what they usually get right, what they usually get wrong, and why Castlevania is the only bitch that matters. Look at him! That is my father! I love this man! He has committed war crimes, and I forgive him.
Mood.
You know, your shitty little bird man. This is my shitty little man.
Leave my shitty little bird man alone.
No.
He's my shitty bird man, and I love him.
He did it in the name of love. That's so true, Tofu. He is my boy. So, this is the fun part. Welcome to history. We gotta explain this guy. And also, it's gonna be a fun look into some queer history.
Let's fucking go.
Fun fact, I tried to say gay history and Twitch notifications said that word is not allowed.
Wow! But queer is okay?
Yeah, apparently.
Goddamn.
Like my favorite fantasy said, also, I don't know a single heterosexual vampire. The prospect of eternal life tends to widen your horizons. Exactly, Eden. Exactly. All right. History time. So, let's explain Bram Stoker's life. By the way, something in the blood is...
Why is that the most terrifying thing ever? Why do they have to make him possessed?
Because to get it that he's spooky. He was a spooky guy.
Every early 1980, late 1980s, early 90s bullfuckery.
It's just,
that looks like something fucking...
When I found this, I could not stop.
Me to try to convince me to join his goddamn cult.
When I found this book, I could not stop crying.
So bad.
So good.
Glowing eyes.
Anyway, ignoring the glowing eyes, he's not important. Question: will this go up on the VOD's channel? Of course. I forgot to start recording.
Well, now's good thing, Sater. Good job.
I'm gonna have to download the VOD.
Oh well.
Cause it's too late! Why did Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt make We're getting to those boys later! Anyway, so Something in the Blood was an extremely useful read for this section because it revealed a lot of stuff that has been untold up until very recently. I'm pausing the music for this. I read so many goddamn scholarly articles for this section. I read so many things I might convert to become a fucking English major. I'm so serious right now. I'm having a crisis. I swear to God, if you gay little fucks in the chat don't pay attention, I'll literally be in your goddamn walls. Do not fucking test me. I read scholarly cited, like, college thesis articles and papers for this fucking section. Do not test me. I am so at my goddamn limit. Do you fucking hear me? Do you understand? Yes. Now we can continue.
I share your pain. I remember reading fucking scholarly article for my thesis.
Ahem. The unsurprisingly queer subtext behind Dracula, Part 1. So Bram Stoker was born November 8th, 1847 in Dublin, Ireland.
Let's fucking go!
I was like, the hose, Colleen, is gonna love this. He was the third of 7 children. He was very sickly and bedridden as a child. A period of his life that he looks back on and attributes to all the horror stories he would later write, because he would spend all his time in bed, like, coming up with, like, stories in his head to pass the time. In his early 20s, he became friends with one Henry Irving. That bitch, important. Remember, lock him in your brain cell.
I know the name.
He was a famous stage actor, with one Henry Irving, who was a famous stage actor. Through Irving, Stoker's introduced to London High Society, TM. Don't you dare curse us with that information, Cedar. So, Dan T.D. was the reincarnation of Bram Stoker. Got it. Epic. Thank you for that one.
Thank you, Seder. Very cool, Seder.
Where he met the likes of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle,
Let's go.
Hale Caine, and Theodore Roosevelt. Yes, the president. He really liked visiting America with Irving. This will become relevant later in a way you do not expect. Trust me.
Here.
It is also thanks to Irving that he met one of his
literal Eden. Eden. Point and laugh at the Sherlock.
Is that a Sherlock reference?
Yes, sir. Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh right. Oh right. I forgot. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I thought you were talking like there was a character called Conan on the show. I got scared. I was like, I don't know what to do there.
Try.
I forgot. Stop.
Clip that right now.
I forgot. This isn't about him. This ain't about him. He can have his own fucking deep dive. I don't give a shit. This ain't about him. Did he write Dracula? No, I don't give a shit. Anyway, it is also... Don't you fucking lie. Hi, Kaya. I'm Angie. So, don't worry, Val. You only missed literally 2 slides. We're at the beginning. Anyway, so it is also thanks to Irving that he met one of his literary idols, Walt Whitman. Whitman was a poet whose work contained heavy themes of homoeroticism and his experiences with men. And if we use today's terminology, he may have been bisexual, but this ain't about him, and that's a whole other thing. Alright, so in 1872, Stoker wrote a love letter on Valentine's Day addressed to Whitman, gushing about him and his book Leaves of Grass. Leaves of Grass, it was used very heavily in Victorian England for gay...
Zodi acts here and has gifted a sub to Kaya GG_.
Thank you, Zodi, for the gifted sub to Kaya. But Leaves of Grass was used very often in Victorian England, and honestly, Leaves of Grass, looked back on as a very prominent gay literature. So a lot of men, if you said that you were related to Leaves of Grass, that was kind of like a whistle for like, I'm like fruity, you know?
It was like the 1800s, I'm a friend of Dorothy, got it.
Yes. So, he didn't send it for another 4 years, and even included a cover letter, once again, on Valentine's Day in 1876.
This man.
He's
like, I'm going to talk to my crush today. Never mind, let me wait another 4 years.
And then send it again on Valentine's Day.
Oh god, this just unlocked a memory of my dumb, stupid ass.
Oh no. So,
I'll tell that. That's a story for another day. I'm not ready for that trauma.
Bless. So, does he, enjoy leaves of grass? Basically, so it is a miracle we even have these letters, as they were not recovered and made public until I think that's supposed to be 1997. Let's just say 1997. 1997's Something in the Blood by David J. Schall. The letters are one of the main sources of evidence when people discuss Bram Stoker being a closeted homosexual man living in the 1800s.
Boy.
And trust me, there are a lot. So, here's some excerpts of the letter. I only hope that we may. I only hope that we may sometimes meet, and I shall be able to perhaps say what I cannot write. I would like to call you, comrade, and talk to you as men who are not poets do not often talk. I think that at first a man would be ashamed, for a man could not in a moment break the habit of comparative reticence that has become second nature to him. But I know I would not long to be ashamed to be natural before you. You are a true man, and I would like to be one myself, and so I would be towards you as a brother and as a pupil to his master. In his age, no man becomes worthy of the name without an effort. You have shaken off the shackles, and your wings are free. I have the shackles on my shoulders still, but I have no wings.
This is gay.
I am 6 feet 2 inches high and 12 stone weight naked, and I used to be 41 around the chest. I am ugly, but strong and determined, and have a large bump over my eyebrows. I have a heavy jaw and a big mouth and thick lips and sensitive nostrils.
Whoa, homie, you're coming out a little strong here. You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
So, I was a Hamilton bitch. I was Hamilton, and God knows I read through those fucking Hamilton and Lawrence letters like the back of my fucking hand. This is this. That's exactly this. It's just more gay people being like, yes, I'm gay, here I am being gay, and fucking everyone else be like, they were best friends. And
Eden is telling you to shut up. Homie, my brother in Christ. How sweet a thing it is for a strong, healthy man with a woman's. This one's crazy. How sweet a thing it is for a strong, healthy man with a woman's eye and a child's wishes to feel that he can speak to a man who can be, if he wishes, father and brother and wife to his soul. I don't think you will laugh, Walt Whitman, nor despise me, but at all events, I thank you for all the love and sympathy you have given me in common with my kind. So yeah, I fucking know what you are. Are you shitting me? So these letters were found and written into the Something in the Blood book in 1997. Because up until this point, very few people knew these letters even fucking existed.
God bless.
So Whitman gave him a response, which was shocking. 3 weeks later, Stoker got a response. My dear young man, your letters have been most welcome to me. Stoker. Stalker. Sorry, Freudian slip. Yeah, imagine getting this letter, and you're like, yeah, I'll respond to that.
I can't get over the fucking written description of what he looks like.
I was reading that, sobbing. I felt so bad. So, Bram Stoker, my dear young man, your letters have been most welcome to me as a person, and then as author. I don't know which most. You did me so well to write me so unconventionally, so fresh, so manly, and affectionately, too. I, too, hope that it is not probable that we will someday personally meet each other. Meantime, I send my friendship and thanks. Edward Dowden's letter, containing amongst others your subscription for a copy of my new edition, has been wrecked. I shall send the book very soon by express in a package to his address. I have just written to ED. My physique is entirely shattered, doubtless permanently, from paralysis and other ailments. But I am up and dressed, and out and get out every day. A little. Live here quite lonesome, but hearty and good spirits. Write to me again.
Can we talk about what Cloak said?
It's killing me because it's the only gay it's early social. These were some 1800s homosexual men 3 weeks later, Stoker got this response. Whitman was seemingly moved by Stoker's adoration and how often he defended him against his haters. Oh yeah, there was a whole other thing where it turns out Stoker spent like most of his time in like author groups defending Walt Whitman from haters.
Oh my god.
Like, he was the OG Twitter stan. This man spent his days just arguing at the great literature halls and being like, Walt Whitman is a king! He's great! His work is fantastic! It speaks to my soul! And Whitman knew about this, because he wrote it in his cover letter. And he was like, bro, thank you. I always needed one guy in my ring.
Oh my god.
He would do a tier 3 sub to Whitman for real. The two finally met in 1884 and remained good friends. Whitman even gave him a signed copy of Leaves of Grass, wink wink, and a photograph of himself, wink wink, that he framed and put in his house.
Homosexual.
Just wait till I get to Florence in a second, because this photograph, I'm pretty sure, was framed and held in his, like, study, and not a picture of his wife.
Man was married.
We're getting to Florence later, trust me. When Walt Whitman died in 1892, he left behind some keepsakes for Stoker, which was very sweet. But wait! There's more! We're getting to Florence now. In 1878, he married Florence Balcombe, who was an ex-girlfriend of other famous author Oscar Wilde, a childhood friend. God. And also, some sources argue about this, but they can't tell if they were just really good friends or they were actually lovers. They're not too sure. Oh, they were keepsake gays. Yeah, he got married because it's like the 1870s. He has to get a wife. Yeah, they were friends in a historical sense, but people argue whether or not they were very close, lovers, or just happened to be two gay men who knew each other. So Oscar Wilde, for those who don't know their queer history, was a famous author who was charged with sodomy and tried for homosexuality, which was highly illegal in England at the time after being outed by the father of his then boyfriend. Also, fun fact about this is that Oscar Wilde's friend group, I believe including Stoker, or that might have been a different circle, had told Oscar Wilde that they knew he was gay. Everyone knew he was gay. But they told him to move to France, because in France, homosexuality was legal. But he didn't.
That man, of course he's homosexual.
Yeah, but he didn't listen, and that's why he got arrested. He also spent 2 years in prison, and because of the harsh treatment he got in prison, he died shortly after he left prison, only like a couple of years after he left.
It's no use!
And, Paperbird, thank you so much for the follow. Love you, little tadpole now. Thank you. But, after leaving prison, he finally did go to France, and that's where he died. The two, meaning Florence and Bram, had a very strange marriage, as the two only had one son in December of the next year. Then, according to a biography released by his family, the two allegedly never had sex, were reportedly never around each other. Their marriage was described as a celibate union. No photos exist of them together, nor did Florence ever even stick around to be with her son. So the two, and it's not a thing of like, oh, there's no photos of them like ever. Like, no, they were like socialites who had a lot of photos. They were just never together.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Bram Stoker was closer to Oscar Wilde than he was with his own wife. He was noted as saying that he strongly identified with Wilde. He fucked Oscar Wilde, allegedly. It should also be brought up that Dracula was being written during his Wilde's trials. I don't know why I put that. During Wilde's trials had been occurring, and the inspirations of Wilde and Whitman's own work is frequently seen within the novel. Velpedia is spiraling. Jesus Christ. Whoops. If you strongly identify with Oscar Wilde, it's called being gay. It's called being gay.
It's called being gay.
It should also be noted, this is fun history for you, The trial of Oscar Wilde became a media frenzy at the time. People were fascinated and disgusted by the trials, and public opinion of homosexuality drastically changed after the trials. Before the trials took place, public attitudes were more pitiful towards homosexuality. It was like a, oh, poor things, they're confused kind of a thing, you know? But after this, homosexuality was seen as a threat and predatory. And also, this whole era is kind of where, I think I talked about this later. Okay, no, I didn't talk about this. So this point was also where it became less that homosexuality was just a sin, but more it was contagious. That's where that thought process came from. It originates here with the Oscar Wilde trials.
God damn it.
Yeah. This era is where we can pinpoint the toxic this era is also where we can pinpoint the toxic straight man idea that we can that we still see to this day, that art and effeminacy was an indicator of being gay, and that's a bad thing. So this is where the whole idea that, like, if you're a guy who likes the arts, you're gay, because it happened to Oscar Wilde, which was a popular fucking author, so it can be anybody. So the gays are the authors and shit. The way I'm learning so much right now. I told you guys this is going to be a lot of history. People became very suspicious of any close male relationships, and people reporting others for suspected homosexuality began to skyrocket. And those in actual same-sex relationships, or those who knew they could be gay, began to panic and close themselves off, concerned that anything they might do suggests intimacy. Because before this point, there was a thing called romantic friendships in Victorian England, which, for those who don't know, that is basically like people would be very intimate with one another. Often women would be seen kissing each other, and they'd be like, no, this is practice for when we're married to actual men, so we're just kissing each other for now, which is the basis of a lot of lesbian erotica written later, but that is not today. And it would also happen between men a lot. Men it was very common to see men being very affectionate towards each other with romantic friendships. But after the Oscar Wilde trial, that shit had to get cut off, because people wouldn't be like, oh, they're just having romantic friendship. They'd be like, gay! Die! Basically. So, Oscar Wilde's trial was kind of like a big shift in queer history as a whole. Not only because Oscar Wilde was very popular, but also because, like, it drastically changed the whole culture in England and the greater Western Europe around him from that day forward. And that's why people are like, there's no evidence for queer people in the past, because of this whole romantic friendship bullshit that a lot of people just used as a cover story, really, at the end of the day. It's also important to note that during this time was the cutoff point where we stopped hearing about Bram Stoker's personal life. He became extremely private at this point in time. Coincidence? It could be. But the time's a bit strange, wouldn't you think? Yep. So, and also that, because past straights made people afraid to show any sort of intimacy, so that's why a lot of queer history is, like, buried after this point, and only resurfaces a lot later. Straight people. Mm-hmm. So,
oh my boy.
Okay, we're getting into this motherfucker, because there's actually some myths that have to be squashed. So, Stoker released Dracula in 1897, well after the Oscar Wilde trials, well after all of that. Hi, Bloody! How are you doing? In 1897. Tofu? You gotta explain that one. Are you related to Vlad the Impaler?
Excuse me?
Tofu? That's crazy. That makes sense, but that's crazy.
Can you drop that?
Yeah, good for you. It's good to see you again, Bloody. So, Stoker released Dracula in 1897. His exact inspirations behind the character of Dracula is often discussed and debated. It didn't pop off super well because in the late 1890s, people were cowards. One theory is that his inspiration behind writing the novel was Armin van Buury, a Hungarian Jewish writer who told him dark stories of the Carpathian Mountains where Dracula takes place, which inspired his setting and his character. While this could be true about his stories inspiring his setting for the novel being Eastern Europe, it is actually more likely that Stoker based the character Von Helsing, not Dracula, the eccentric Dutch doctor, after him, as Helsing refers to his friend Arminius of Budapest, spelled like that, University, in the novel. It's a little Easter egg to reference his good friend Armin. Yay. So another theory is that he based Dracula off of Vlad the Impaler, aka Vlad Dracula, the medieval ruler of Romania, and the stories he heard of his cruelty. One of my ancestors can be traced to one of his son's alleged bastard children. Huh. Well, that's fascinating. Damn, I didn't know that. I can't trace my family history because not white, so it's harder. But, Vlad the Impaler. However, Stoker only had a very baseline knowledge of Vlad's existence. People, can I say this? People give Stoker too much credit. And they forget this was a very closeted, very private, very rich white man in the 1890s.
Yeah.
He wasn't a history buff. So to say he was directly inspired by Vlad the Impaler is a bit of a stretch. At the most, he probably just knew his name and kind of knew what he did. It's not like he had the internet to research shit, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Stoker had only a very baseline knowledge of Vlad's existence and only really borrowed the name and scraps of miscellaneous information about the history of Wallachia and when writing this book. Vampirism has been a folklore that has been around since the Mesopotamians, and Romania had their own pre-existing vampiric folklore. So, this is gonna be the fun part. So what else could have really inspired Dracula's character?
Homosexuality.
Gay thoughts!
Gay thoughts!
I am not, no, I'm not kidding! We're not joking! So, remember Henry Irving? Remember Henry Irving? He's back!
Yeah!
What son was a fucking hoe before he died? Good lord! OMG me for real, gay thoughts. Honestly, yeah, Bram, I am gay and I will write my gay experience by using the supernatural. Exactly that. Exactly that. If you read the description of the main character Jonathan Harker gives of Dracula when the two meet, it is a near exact description of Henry Irving with some creative liberties. Remember, Stoker worked for Henry Irving.
Okay.
So, Stoker was known for putting his work with Irving above his wife. I mean, most things he put above his wife and also his son. However, it was pretty well known that Irving was a social manipulator who only really cared about his status. He was known at the time for being kind of, depending on the people you talk to, if you talk to Stoker, he says he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. If you talk to anybody else, he was self-absorbed, loved cultivating discourse for the sake of drama and press. He was kind of the guy that causes drama on purpose because it gets him clicks. He's like that.
Yeah.
To put it in a modern day social media sense. He needed constant attention. To Stoker, nothing was worse than making Irving upset. Many scholars analyze, besides his obvious crush on Walt Whitman, he may have possibly been in love with Irving as well, and also Oscar Wilde. Unlike how he tried to hide his letters from Whitman, Stoker was never one to hide away from gushing about Irving and constantly trying to be at his side, which I guess could be draining. Also, look at this man, and here's a description Dracula is given. His face was strong, very strong, aquiline, with a high bridge of the thin nose, and peculiarly arched nostrils, with lofty domed forehead, and hair growing scantily around the temple, but profusely elsewhere. His eyebrows were very massive, almost meeting over the nose, and with bushy hair that seemed to curl in its own profusion. So, many people assumed that Irving was kind of the main. I know what you are. Basically, just so many people assumed that this was kind of very much that he based Dracula's descriptor and bits of a personality off of his experience with Henry Irving. But somewhere along the way, Dracula became kind of a sinister caricature of Irving, but in an unsurprisingly erotic way. Genuinely, Stoker was going through and writing this.
God damn.
Yeah, so a read-through of Dracula.
Scrolling through Tumblr, being like, gay people.
Is that a gay people? That's crazy. Oh yeah, that's true. This exact expert is taken after he drinks blood, I think, for the first time. He drinks a bit of blood off of Jonathan because he cut himself while shaving and shit. It's erotic. It's really erotic. So a read-through of Dracula was performed in
porn.
Yeah. So, a read-through of Dracula was performed in May of 1897, the week before it was published, and when Stoker asked Irving to play Dracula in a feature stage production. He felt personally attacked and offended and called the story dreadful. Literal quoting here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're getting to whole thing about Dracula in a bit. So Hall Caine's input. He's a friend of Stoker and the dedicatee of Dracula. When Stoker died in April 12th in 1912, Caine had this to say about Irving and Stoker's relationship. Quote, "Much has been said of his relation to Henry Irving, but I wonder how many were really aware of the whole depth and significance of that association. Stoker seemed to give up his life to it. It was not only his time and his services that he gave to Irving, it was his heart, which he never failed for one moment in loyalty, in enthusiasm, in affection, in the strongest love that a man may feel for a man. And I say without any hesitation that never have I seen such absorption of one man's life in the life of another."
That's fruity.
Yeah, a bit fruity.
There is no heterosexual explanation.
There quite literally is, and that's why scholars are just like, and everyone else is like, no, do you have eyes? Do you have eyes and ears, and can you read? They're gay, Your Honor. Y'all. Guys, after he died, too. Bro. So, Carmilla. Let me explain Carmilla real quick. The lesbians! Guys, wake up, we have lesbians!
Guys, lesbians!
Woo! Wake up! You! So true, Kaya, you! So, Sheridan Le Fene released the novel Carmilla in 1872, predating Dracula by 26 years. The story follows Laura, a young woman who lives with her wealthy father, being preyed upon by a female vampire named Carmilla. Carmilla is yes, lesbian. Let's go. I love the chat. Let's go.
The lesbians.
So, being preyed upon by a female vampire named Carmilla. Carmilla is the quintessential lesbian trope, a trope that touches on the idea that lesbians could possibly exist in fantasy, and the taboo nature that it comes with. It's a whole thing. Basically, a lesbian vampire is just like a vampire who tempts the women specifically and tempts them into taboo because women are supposed to be like pure subservient to their men, and then there's the taboo of lesbianism. God damn lesbians. Fuck. Let's go lesbians. There's also
I am literally in a relationship with a woman,
and I'm a lesbian. So, yeah, exactly. That's the sound I make when lesbians. Wow. Also, there's this whole other thing with Carmilla and how Carmilla predating Dracula is actually really important. Yeah. Because Carmilla has been noted to be a huge literary influence on Stoker's writing, and there are many similarities between the two novels. Van Helsing is very similar to Baron Vodenberg. Lucy and Lauren are described in a very similar fashion. Dracula's Guest, an unreleased prequel, is set also in Syria, where a female vampire also lives. Carmilla's set in Syria. It's a whole thing. But Carmilla is also a very interesting thing where a lot of people discredit Carmilla because they hate lesbians, but Carmilla's a huge reason why the gay vampire, like, trope even fucking exists. Like, let's be fucking serious here for a goddamn second. Like, come on. I wish Carmilla was real. I wish she would do things to me that I cannot say on Twitch.tv because I'll get banned. Moving on. Okay, fun fact, Daughter of Dracula is super fucking lesbian if you want a cool 1930s movie. I haven't seen Daughter of Dracula. It's on my list of Dracula movies, but anyway, so with all these factors at play about Bram Stoker's own life, his inspiration from Carmilla, and the time period in which it was written, one can make the assumption that the vampiric lore that was established in the novel and later used in future retellings or novels, if they stay true to the themes presented in the novel, all carry an inherent level of homoeroticism that cannot be ignored. You cannot have Dracula, a tried and true Dracula, without some level of intense homoeroticism, as it's what's really, genuinely, kind of drives the plot. But
all Draculas are gay!
Is there anything else that inspired Dracula? Racism!
Oh, here you fucking go.
Welcome to the part where I explain the white gays are still, at the end of the day, white, and the idea of a reverse colonization narrative.
Yay!
Yay! So what is a reverse colonization narrative? A reverse colonization narrative is a plot that asks Western audiences to imagine what it's like to be the colonized rather than the colonizers. Think your classic alien invasion movies where they come to attack specifically America. While a fascinating thought exercise, these kinds of stories have led to a very dangerous thinking and prevails the idea of the us versus them mentality. And these reverse colonization narratives usually end up being used to perpetuate white supremacist ideologies. It creates this delusion that the white man is the one in the real world fighting against an oppressive establishment instead of that they are the ones who are the oppressive establishment. They can also create the idea that the monster isn't just some demonic force, but a demonic foreign force, which Dracula is full of this idea. Count Dracula is an Eastern European man who smuggles himself into England for the sole purpose of hurting the poor, sweet, innocent, good Christian Western Europeans. Like, let's be serious for a moment here. Nothing is ever fun. Okay?
No fun.
Also,
No
this
fun
book
allowed.
is a super cool read on this whole subject matter if you guys want to read about it. It's called Reverse Colonization, Science Fiction, Imperial Fantasy, and Alt Victimhood by David M. Higgins. It was a huge help writing this section. So Stephen D'Arata says, reverse colonization narratives are obsessed with the spectacle of the primitive. The savagery both repels and captivates. It makes them dangerous and also deeply attractive, which is kind of the whole idea of Dracula at the end of the day, because yes, he is, the whole novel really is a reverse colonization narrative, but with the added bonus of the fact that it is very much a queer allegory. It also plays in with what he says here, where yes, reverse colonization are obsessed with the spectacle because it's both dangerous and can be seen as attractive, which is a bad thing because it leads to fetishization, which is a whole other conversation. Reading while being part Romani and Jewish is interesting. Yeah. Nothing is ever fun. The Victorians were known for how much they love the Slavs. Now, were they? No. Oh, God, wait, what happened to this slide? Why is it like this? Hold on. I gotta fix this. Why are you like this? Squeeze. Boop. There we go. Don't look behind the curtain. So the Victorians were never known for how much they loved the Slavs. Now were they? Nor were they exactly known for the kind way they treated the Roma people. Now were they? Or Jewish people? Yeah. So while Dracula is not a walking Roma stereotype in terms of him having darker skin than the white good Christian boys that are our main characters, he still has striking similarities to Roma, Jewish, and Slavic people, and how Stoker may have viewed them as a wealthy Victorian British man in the 1890s. Dracula, a diasporic man who preys upon good British men and women and children, is seen as a threat in Stoker's safe haven, aka the Great Britain, because Stoker, which I'm sure is not a surprise, was kind of a man who was terrified of most things.
Damn. Oh, we got another H.P. Lovecraft situation.
Yeah, but less racist by comparison. Just a little. Which isn't much. Which isn't a lot.
We have to remember H.P. Lovecraft was
a horrible person. A horrible person. At this time of Stoker writing this, Great Britain was facing for the first time the idea that they weren't the only global superpower, and they were specifically afraid of Russia and Eastern European as a whole. Here's a great video to talk about this by Kaz Rose, but called Bram Stoker and the Fears That Built Dracula. It's a really cool video. You guys should check it out.
Ooh.
Expectations were low, but holy fuck. Yeah. So, question. Was Dracula the novel a way for Bram Stoker to let out his frustrations about his and Irving's relationship and write a novel with a weird power dynamic fantasy, considering what happens between Jonathan and the Count in the first half of the novel? Mixed in with some classic Victorian era xenophobia, his limited knowledge of a Romanian ruler who was known to be brutal, mixed in with his pre-existing knowledge of a vampiric folklore, all mixed together in a horror novel he was inspired by Carmilla to write, that he also wrote while Oscar Wilde was a young child, and in prison for being homosexual, which also could have been attributed to the way the novel became the way it is, and Dracula himself being a possible allegory for everything Bram Stoker fears, his own queerness, women, Victorian gender norms, his bias and racist views and the fear of the unknown? Hard to say. I'ma say, in my educated opinion, Probably.
I think that's a very good estimation.
Thank you. Probably a little bit of all of it. Yeah, that's what I would like to believe. So, with all this in mind, allegedly, of course, I don't want to get sued by, like, the Stoker Foundation or some shit.
Bram Stoker's ghost is gonna sue you.
I don't fucking know. Anything's possible. Shit's haunted in the world. So, let's actually sink our fangs in this novel, shall we? I thought it was cute.
It's cute.
Fuck you.
I
So,
love you.
welcome to the actual Dracula, the novel section. So now we have all this knowledge about Bram Stoker. So, warning, this summary won't be as in-depth as my usual deep dives, as the focus on this PowerPoint isn't the novel's story. It kind of is, but also not really. But rather the character of Dracula and how his lore has changed over the years and his historical subtext behind him. I don't think you can get sued, Chai. I don't know. I fear the world. But it's a fantastic novel. Please read it. And also, again, everything I said about Bram Stoker is just, like, history and some speculation with queer subtext now that I'm an adult man who looks back and I'm like, kind of fruity. The fucking letters, come on. His physical description, come on.
Hey.
Also, here's Winona Ryder as Mina Harker, the love of my life. Oh my god. I love her. Token estate still threatens, so anything is possible for any writers. Exactly! I'm scared of the estates. They scare me. This book is not written in a traditional manner. Instead of it being first-person perspective story all the way through, or even third-person, you hear the story via the diary of Jonathan Harker during part 1 of the tale. And when we hit Act 2, the story is told via letters, medical journals, Mina Harker's diary, newspaper clippings, letters that all show the story of Dracula's arrival from different perspectives. Enjoy your lurk, lovely! It's a way of storytelling that I don't see very often. I wish more people would do it, especially in something like the horror genre. It can be really cool.
Yeah.
So, we begin. This is Keanu Reeves.
Oh my god.
He played Jonathan Harker. A lot of people forget this. It's fucking insane to me. I think about Keanu Reeves playing Jonathan Harker every fucking day of my goddamn life. So, we meet Jonathan Harker, a young English lawyer who is traveling to Eastern European country of Transylvania. He's writing in his journal that he hopes to give to his fiancée Mina Murray, or Murray. I don't know how to read English names. I'm Spanish. That details all his adventures. He explains he explains the sights he sees and is rather not pleasant and opinions on the poor, pitiful locals about how much he loves the food and hopes to give the recipes to Mina. He's in Transylvania to meet up with the Count Dracula, a nobleman, to conclude a real estate deal to sell the Count residence in London. So yes, the main plot point of Dracula, this classic horror novel, is real estate.
Amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it? So yeah, he's a solicitor. That's our hero, guys. Solicitor. Real estate, baby. He stays at the local inn and is welcomed to the mysterious Carpathian Mountains, but warned by the innkeeper's wife that he's about to be in serious danger. She puts a crucifix around his neck and he's warned about vampires and werewolves, but he shrugs it off as the locals being weird. People also make the sign of the cross at his direction when he gets in his coach to head to the Count's castle, which fellow passengers explain is them trying to protect him from the evil eye, before they themselves offer gifts and tokens to protect him. Jonathan also marks this off as the locals just being weird and continues on with his day unbothered. He is not the smartest man.
Amazing.
After seeing some mysterious fucking blue fire, he finally arrives at Dracula's castle, a little bit, finally, freaked out after the encounter with the blue flames and the many, many, many wolves that follow him around. So yeah, the locals giving him gifts and tokens and literally making the sign of the cross at him, nothing. A blue fire? This is haunted.
This is fucked.
This is fucked. We're in dangerous territory now, man. Typical cis man. God, I hate him. It's always a businessman who ignores this shit. He's so stupid. I love him. Anyway, look at my father! I love him. Anyway, so Johnny Boy be like, that's weird. Does nothing. Jonathan arrives at the castle and finally meets with Count Dracula, who he describes as having long, white mustache, hairy palms, and pointy ears, sharp teeth, and extremely cold, pale skin. Jonathan pays this no mind, and he thinks the Count is just swell.
Oh my god.
He has to stay here for the next few days to talk business. After ignoring the fact that the giant castle is nearly entirely empty, Dracula has no reflection, and that Dracula almost kills him after Jonathan accidentally cuts himself while shaving, and that Dracula never eats. Jonathan only finds the Count strange when he leaves one day and locks every door in the castle behind him. Yes. Had a stroke. Don't mind me. Everything's fine. Oh yeah. Only then. Also, Tofu mentioned this earlier, but when he drinks like some of his blood, because he does like the fucking gay shit where he like wipes the blood and like licks it and shit. He looks visibly younger, and he's still just like, that's crazy.
Damn.
He's like, that's so wacky. That's so normal.
You got Botox? It's looking good.
You look great, King. It's just so quirky of him. Realizing he's trapped, he sort of just accepts his fate and only has a Joan and freak out when he looks out the window one night and sees Dracula crawling up and down the sides of the castle in a lizard-like fashion.
It's just the full moon. He gets a little
He needs his wild in times.
He gets the zoomies.
He gets the zoomies. Ignore him. It's fine. Hi, Teal. After assuming, Jonathan fucking tripping half the act because he's a mediocre white man. I'm coming out of lurking to let you know that Dracula isn't in fate, but Carmilla is. I think about that a lot. I love gay people. I love lesbians. We as a society don't talk enough about Dracula's lizard-like qualities. They're fucking hilarious. We need to talk about them more. God. You know? You know?
What do you mean, Teal? Dracula gets the zoomies.
He gets the zoomies.
It's just that's part of fairly important Dracula lore. He has the zoomies.
He gets the zoomies, he gets his wild in times, he runs up and down the sides of the castle wall like a little lizard man, and he's fine. It's canon! It's literally canon! He gets the zoomies! So after assuming Dracula is some sort of lizard hybrid man, he decides to sleep in a previously locked room, like a normal person, and is approached by 3 beautiful vampire women who try to fuck and also eat him. He is both seduced and terrified of them. And here's the gay rights and gay wrongs of this section. So Dracula then appears, declaring Jonathan to be his. Here's the exact quote. How dare you touch him, any of you? How dare you cast eyes on him when I had forbidden it? Back, I tell you all, this man belongs to me.
This is homosexual. That's gay.
It's so gay. So the women then ridicule Dracula, saying, you yourself have never loved. You never love. For the first time in the novel, Dracula is genuinely taken aback by this before he looks at Jonathan with softness. After looking at my face attentively, he said in a soft whisper, yes, I too can love. You yourselves can tell it was from the past, is it not so? Well now, I promise you that when I'm done with him, you shall kiss him at your will. Now go! Go! So
you can have my sloppy seconds.
You can have it once I'm done with him, because I am gay rights and gay wrongs, because I am in fact toxic and evil, in case you forgot. I know what you are. My gay senses are tingling, I know what you are. So yeah, gay. He then throws a burlap sack with a baby for them to eat. The women take this meal, and then he carries Jonathan back to his room.
Hey, yo.
No, I don't know who they are or what the relationship to Dracula is. They just kind of live there. They're called Dracula's wives, but they just kind of live there. They're called the brides sometimes, but again, they just kind of live there. They don't really get names up until they're killed, like the last 3 pages of the book.
Oh my god.
They're just kind of there. They're not even his wives. They just kind of live there.
They're like the rats in his cellar.
Exactly, but they're three beautiful, voluptuous women, as they're described, and they try to eat Jonathan until he's just like, no, my boy! They're basically his sugar babies, basically. While Jonathan sleeps, Dracula apparently had either changed him into his pajamas and folded his clothes for him, or picked out his outfit for him for the next day and folded it nicely and neatly and placed it by his bed. Either way, he folded his clothes for him, and Jonathan is terrified by this all. He just wants to go home to Mina so bad.
Oh my god.
So yeah, the way it's written, it's gay rights and gay wrongs. You know how it is. Duffy, you missed all the gay shit. Hi,
There's a lot of
Duffy.
gay shit.
There's a lot of gay shit. So yeah, no one's entirely sure if Dracula stripped him while he was unconscious and then put his clothes on and folded them neatly, or it was he just put him down in the bed and then picked out his clothes for the next day and folded it neatly. Either way, they were clothes folded neatly and put by the bed, and he was visibly disheveled, as it says in the novel.
They fucked.
I don't know.
They fucked.
I tried treating him like a little dressed up like a Ken doll.
I
So-
interpret it as they fucked.
I don't know. I don't know. Nor will I ever know, because this book was in 1897 and Bram Stoker is fucking dead.
Call him up.
Hey, yo, Dracula fucks. So true. Look on the Gatelight Girl Keep Gas Boss.
Yes.
I will shut up and start being wrong. You know what? Based. Based tofu. So based. Over the next few weeks, Dracula keeps Jonathan trapped in the castle and forces him to write fake letters to send home to Mina and his employer. And the Count tells him he should be grateful that he treats him so well. You know, toxic gay shit.
Toxic gay shit.
Toxic gay shit. Oh wait, yeah, I already said that. He has to write fake letters dated different days to send home to Mina to pretend that everything's okay. One day he sees that the Count is preparing a lot of mysterious wooden boxes full of earth. At a point, Dracula steals Jonathan clothes to wear around the town nearby to steal babies for the women to eat, to make people think that Jonathan was alive and free to wander around the castle, I guess? I don't know the reasoning. I think he just want to wear his boyfriend's clothes, I'm gonna be real with you. His boyfriend / forced. One morning, Jonathan sees a Roma woman get devoured by a pack of wolves that appear around the castle and tries to save her by climbing out of the window. He doesn't make it and instead ends up in the Count's room where he finds him asleep in a wooden box. Jonathan freaks out after seeing this and runs back to his room. June 29th, after being there for over a month, Dracula tells him he can leave tomorrow after he says he wants to leave right now. After escaping some wolves that materialize out of nowhere, he runs away and runs into the three women. He runs from them too and hides in his own room and cries for the rest of the night and prays.
This is amazing.
Chai, this is just Beauty and the Beast, but worse! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!
She's right!
Emily, why?
That's
I
right.
I hate that you're right. I hate that you're right. It's so right. I hate that you're wrong and also so fucking right. It's just wrong. I hate you. Anyway, is this the end? Fuck. After a month of I'm thinking about Beauty and the Beast. My train of thought is fucking gone. Because you spoke the truth. I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit. I can't do this anymore.
Emily, that was so hot. I love you. I can't wait to kiss you.
I get gay people shaking my head. So, after a month of being held captive by the Count, he climbs out of his room one morning to find the Count is in his room, asleep in his wooden box. But he looks noticeably younger than before. He also notes that Dracula had blood trickling out of the corner of his mouth. Jonathan takes a shovel and tries to use it to kill Dracula, but it bounces off his forehead, because he's a fucking idiot and went for the forehead.
How dare he?
His last journal entry is him stealing some gold from Dracula's room and scaling the castle walls. He ends the journal with, "At least God's mercy is better than that of these monsters, and the precipice is steep and high. At its foot a man may sleep as a man. Goodbye all. Mina. Anyway, now we're gonna meet Mina. Fuck, Jonathan, he's probably dead. Mina Murray! Woo! Played by Winona Ryder, the love of my life. Yeah. Winona Ryder, please answer my phone calls. Please text me back. Please text me back. Oh my god. Please. Please. Oh my god. Anyway, I can't even speak. I'm enraptured. Anyway, what? I'm just a little whore. What about it? I'm just saying, I love non-men, and Winona Ryder is such a hot woman. Winona Ryder, please call me back. I'm just saying.
Don't boo them. They're right.
I'm right. You're gonna fucking look at me and tell me that I'm wrong? The Winona Ryder isn't fucking delicious to look at? Oh my god. I love her. I love her so goddamn much. Anyway, I'm gonna try to focus now. Half the stream is lesbian panic. Speaking of lesbian panic, Mina Murray is Jonathan's fiance, a young, confident English woman who's an assistant school mistress who wants to be useful for her husband. So she studied shorthand and typewriting. That'll come up later. Mommy? Sorry. She has a best friend named Lucy. Have a good stream. Bye, bloody! She has a best friend named Lucy Westenra, and the two exchange letters to each other often. Mina's gotten those fake letters from Jonathan saying he's on his way home, and she's really excited about it. She's like, oh my god, my husband's coming back. I'm so excited, Lucy. Meanwhile, Lucy, the most quintessential, polite, kind, sweet, perfect Englishwoman alive, writes back to Mina how she has gotten not one, not two, but 3 marriage proposals in one day. Oh my god! And one of them was none other than the love of her life, a gentleman by the name of Arthur Holmwood, the most white-bread man who's ever lived.
God bless.
The other 2 men are Dr. John Seward, who works as the doctor at the local insane asylum, and Quincy P. Morris, a cowboy. Remember how I said that, like...
The 3 genders.
The 3 genders. White bread, doctor, cowboy. Yeah, when I say best friends, I say that in quotation marks. Oh yeah, so here are the 3 boys. So we got Arthur, wait, that's the wrong picture. There we go. So we got Arthur Holmwood, Dr. John Seward, and Quincy P. Morris.
Oh my god, fucking, I love Quincy P. Morris. That is a fit.
What if we go back? There's nothing wrong here. It's the same pictures, right?
Not the autism teacher.
So yeah, here's the 3 lovers. Sorry, wrong slide. Here's the 3 lovers. I confuse them sometimes. They're so similar.
What is yippee?
What do you mean, yippee? And that's just Dr. John Seward. It's just what he looks like in the novel. I went for artistic interpretation. I just went for artistic interpretation, I'll just say. Also, remember how I said that Bram Stoker loved going to America and he was like pretty tight with Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh my god.
That's where Quincy comes in.
Of course. Fucking course.
It's really good. Anyway, if you want to know how cowboy he is, he's his literal first words in the book. Miss Lucy, I know I ain't good enough to regulate the fixings of your little shoes, but I guess if you wait till you find a man that is you will go join them 7 young women with the lamps when you quit. Won't you just hitch up alongside of me and let's go down the long road together, driving in double hardness?
Oh my god.
Do you have a crush on Teddy Roosevelt? Probably. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So yeah, those are the little first words out of this goddamn man's mouth.
I hate it.
It's a lot. So, Smash gets to the asylum for a casual second.
Oh joy.
Welcome to the asylum. While Mina writes in her journal about how they visited an allegedly haunted town and that Mina hasn't heard from Jonathan in well over a month, John Seward is writing his medical diary about his client Renfield. Bram is the one person I would ask to stop being gay. Renfield uses sugar to trap flies, uses the flies to trap spiders, and uses the spiders to trap sparrows, which he eats. He believes that eating the sparrows gives him strength. After this, he goes to a campfire to hang out with Quincy and Arthur. That's quite literally how the chapter goes. He talks about Renfield and he goes to a little campfire with his cowboy boyfriend.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That shit does go hard. That's my Quincy Morris. Fucking Robin Williams playing Teddy Roosevelt. That's him. That's him. Also, yeah, Ratman Renfield. I love him. So back to Mina for a second. Lucy is contracting sickly Victorian woman disease. Gasp.
No, not consumption.
Not the consumption. No. And she's been sleepwalking lately and is spacing out. Never a good sign. Also, I should mention that all of this, Lucy and Mina sleep in the same bed every day.
That's
For no reason. I'm just saying.
gay.
After conversing with an old man, Mr. Swales, about how death is the only reliable thing in life, a mysterious Russian, quote-unquote, ship appears. Yeah, no reason. Gay people in this book? Never.
Ah, damn.
Two newspaper clippings reveal that the ship is called the Demeter, and it washes up on the shore during a storm. The crew is nowhere to be found, and the captain is dead, tied to the wheel, and clasping a crucifix. When the local police investigate the ship, while investigating, a huge dog leaps out of the hold and runs past them. The Demeter's only cargo is a bunch of wooden boxes which are delivered to a nearby solicitor in the area.
Sorry.
Bork bork. Exactly. Oh yeah, the dog is very important.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, was Dracula one of the banned books by the church? I'm pretty sure it might have been at a point. Dracula was not very popular when it first came out. It was kind of those things where, like, it was more appreciated after he was gone, once it started getting more media attention.
Fair.
But yeah, it's definitely not exactly a book the church is, like, giving the shining stamp of approval, but also it kind of is, because the book is very pro-Christianity, but it's so gay, I don't think they caught it very well.
Yeah.
So, also, here's them sleeping in the bed. You know,
Lesbian.
like straight people do.
Casually.
At their grown age. It's a sleepover, you know, between besties.
Besties.
A captain's log on the ship reveals that there used to be a full crew, but one by one they started going missing after a tall, thin man was spotted.
Slender Man.
Yup. Correct. Yup. Slender Man.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
It's
resist.
Slender Man. You did it. You solved the mystery. We can all go home. We're done. Let's go.
I couldn't resist, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had to.
You're a fucking criminal. You're a fucking criminal. Get back over here. You're a fucking criminal. I hate you so goddamn much. Put a 1 in the chat if I should do a Slender Man deep dive.
Ooh, that would be, I would fuck with that.
I put a 1. Yes, my people. I get to talk about every man hybrid. Yes, my beloved.
I'll do a Slender Man deep dive.
Fuck yeah. Alright, so, back to Mina. She's definitely still freaked out about Jonathan, especially after the storm. She's also still worried for Lucy, whose sleepwalking is getting worse. I forgot to include this because Spark Notes fucked me up when I was trying to remember this chapter. Zodi, I will shit myself. right now. If I even look at that man directly in the eyes, I think my heart will give out. I'm not shocked by that. My heart will give out.
How do Zodi and Tofu
killed a woman.
know
Feeling good.
everyone?
Because it's Zodi and Tofu. Tumblr sexy man deep dive! God. I fucking love it. I don't want to talk about it. I will go into a fucking ramble. I'm gonna start sweating. I'm sweating. I'll
So the
start.
lesbians.
Leave me alone. Lesbians. Sans deep dive! Dear Lord. No, I gotta wait for Deltarune to finish first. I gotta find out what the fuck is wrong with him. Also, there's a part in the book, I forgot where, but to snap Lucy out of a sleepwalk, they kiss. you know, but like in a homey way. In a homey way. In a way between the homies.
Just a casual kiss between
A casual kiss between the gal pals. Between the gal pals and the girlies. It happens, you know, between the girlies.
Casually.
Casual.
Happens to me every other week.
Super cash. Sometimes you gotta let the homies hit it, you know? Between homies.
Well, freaking Val.
But, like, it was a best friend kiss. They say it's a best friend kiss, so it doesn't count.
They had socks on, so it was fine.
It's not gay between the homies in the haunted garden.
Their fingers were crossed, their eyes were open. It's fine.
It's fine. It happens. You gotta kiss the homies. What the fuck was I even saying? Oh yeah, they kiss. The two attend the captain's funeral shortly after, and Mina notices that Lucy's getting sicker, which is just not good, especially after Mr. Swales was found dead with a broken neck and a look of sheer terror on his face. Gasp. What could that mean? Could it be Dracula? Impossible. He's in Transylvania. He can't be here. Surely this haunted ship had nothing to do with it. Surely not. God, she's got the consumption. Over the next few days, Mina takes care of Lucy, who also had a run-in with a shadowy figure in the churchyard in the middle of the night while she was sleepwalking, and it appeared to have 2 red puncture wounds on her neck. Key events! A dark figure appears in the graveyard nearby with red eyes. A bat appears in the moonlight outside of Lucy's window. And Lucy is just getting paler and sicker. It gets to the point where it gets so bad that she has to tell Arthur, just like, hey, buddy, you gotta fucking find a doctor.
Oh, Lord.
By the way, this whole time, like, yeah, I get Arthur's, like, busy or whatever. Not Lucy. Mina's, like, the only one taking care of Lucy.
Amazing.
Like, not to say lesbian rights are lesbian rights, because what the fuck?
Always. Lesbian rights always and forever.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But then hurrah! The boy! The boy! Cut to a letter from a Whitby solicitor ordering up the boxes of earth from the Demeter to be delivered to the estate of Carfax, Dracula's house he had purchased. Back to Mina again, and she's discovered that Jonathan has been found in a Hungarian hospital with brain fever. I don't know what that is. And white hair, cause he's stressed. Cause he's a little male wife, and he got spooked, and he has white hair. He got quite literal Marie Antoinette syndrome because he was so freaked out about the events.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure what brain fever is. He calls it brain fever.
Maybe a concussion?
No, Dick's so good. He got brain fever. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Never say those words to me again. Never say the phrase "Dick's so good he got brain fever" ever fucking again. But I hate you. Eden car! Eden!
I love whenever Eden speaks in because he'll just be in the background being very quiet, and then every time he pops in, he says the most out-of-pocket shit.
It's a medical condition where a part of the brain becomes inflamed and causes symptoms that present as fever. Here's the thing, that is brain fever. However, the way they describe it in the book is very much not brain fever. It's more, what they call brain fever is just that he's just got like a concussion and he has amnesia. Also, yeah, he has amnesia. We'll get to that in a second. It's a lot.
Boy.
Eden, yes, god damn it. So John Seward's accounts return, and Renfield is mentioning that the master is at hand. He even, at a point, escapes and runs to Carfax, you know, the house that Dracula bought, where he's calling out to his master and promising to be obedient before he's dragged back to his cell. Mina writes a letter from Budapest that Jonathan has a form of amnesia because of the high stress, and Mina has gotten his journal, and she's going to read it to find out why Jonathan ends up like this. Also, him and Mina get married.
Yay!
Jesus, Dracula really fucked him up. You're a fucking criminal. Did you know that? Did you know that you're a fucking criminal? But Lucy's getting worse, and Dr. Seward, because Arthur finally called a fucking doctor, doesn't know why. So he calls his old friend, Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Yeah! So, intermission. Why did y'all make this man sexy? Welcome to the Chai Corner, where I talk shit. Gee, stop being horny for 3 seconds in my chat. Rah, Van Helsing. So Dracula has a particularly interesting cultural impact. While most old gothic horror novels only have their monsters become pop culture icons, like the Invisible Man, Frankenstein's monster, Adam is his name. You know that if you read the fucking book. Do I recommend it? It's a particular read. I'll say that much. It's a bit of a hard swallow, but it's worth it. It's real good. I know Invisible Man is your husband, Tofu. We've discussed this. And also Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that shit. But Dracula produced 2 fascinating culture icons. Outside of just creating like this whole vampire lore shit, Dracula himself and Dr. Van Helsing became 2 distinct Adam Frankenstein, yes. So Victor Frankenstein is the doctor. He's not even a doctor. He's just a dropout college student. He's a fucking loser. Welcome to the Chai Rant Corner. Welcome to the Chai Rant Corner. I fucking hate Victor Frankenstein. This motherfucker sucks so fucking hard. He's not even a doctor. He's a fucking college dropout who couldn't handle it because he decided, I'm gonna play God, and he got mad that his fucking creation had a bad eye color. He created life, and he's like, but he's a little bit ugly, so I'm gonna just run away and cry and just leave him. And then he's shocked when his creation, who faces nothing but hatred because of how big and scary he is violent, because the only thing he fucking knows. And he does the whole time feeling sorry for himself. And he's just like, oh, I'm so sad my abomination of God didn't work out. That sucks. I'm the problem. And then, like, when people around him fucking start dying, he's just like, oh, how could this happen to me? It's like, of course it happened to you! It's your fault! He's a fucking coward and a pussy and annoying and the piece of shit. I fucking hate him. And he's so fucking dastardly. I goddamn hate this goddamn bitch. I hate Victor Frankenstein so goddamn much. If I could fucking beat the shit out of any fictional character, yes, C Fills of Minecraft is there. However, Victor fucking Frankenstein is number fucking 1 on the goddamn chopping block. I want to beat his goddamn ass into submission till he fucking understands that he's the problem.
Okay.
No! No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Is it so? So we're forming a line to beat. Yeah, we're all getting in a line. We're all gonna start beating ass because he deserves it. He fucking deserves it.
Please fill some Minecraft out of this.
He's left out of her now. I don't care about him. I care about Victor Frankenstein right now. I'm sweating. I'm gonna turn on the fan.
I was just sitting. I just let you go. I just sat here and drank my water, like listening to you go off and rip this bitch a fucking new asshole.
It's what he deserves. It's what he deserves. I haven't even been looking at chat. There's like some relationship shit going on. I don't fucking know. I'm busy talking about Victor Frankenstein. Bitch. He's a goddamn bitch. But another fucking thing about Frankenstein is the fact that, like, he's, like, so perfect to, like, okay, here's the thing. So, he, like, creates, like, this, like, perfect man. He's big and strong, and he has, like, these, like, he just has, like, his eyes inverted, and they're, like, yellow in the inside and black in the rest. And he's just like, oh, God, I fucked up. I better run away and not kill my creation, because the very least you can do is put him out of his goddamn misery. But no! He just fucking ran away! And then he's confused when his monster comes back, and he's like, hey, you abandoned me, and left me to fucking die. And he's like, no, how did you find me? No. Shut the fuck up.
Have you ever seen the Mel Brooks Young Frankenstein movie?
I have.
That movie slaps so hard.
It was a very funny movie. I liked it.
I love Mel Brooks.
It was a really good movie.
It's a good. Gene Wilder was fantastic. Me and my dad quote that movie all the time. Based tofu. Based
tofu. It's genuinely one of the closest ones in interpretation. I'll say that much. I'm sweating, but I turned the fan on, so it's okay now. Okay, back to this. I forgot where I was. All right, Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Shelley was going through it. She also lost her virginity on her mother's grave, which I think is pretty hardcore. I wish that was me.
Shit.
I love her. I aspire to be her in so many ways.
Amen. So Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. Hold on, Sarah just said something that also made me upset. We're going back. Anyway, back to my rant corner. He did! He fucking went through all the effort to learn how to read and speak and read the journals just to be sad. It's so fucking... No!
I am patting you on the shoulder.
Thank you. Is it obvious that I get very passionate and hyperfixated on gothic horror literature?
Yes, and I love that for you.
Thank you.
Because it's something I always wanted to get interested in, but just never could, but tried really hard to.
What the fuck? Why are you guys making out without me? I want to make out over Mary Shelley. My spouses, guys. I'm just saying. Anyway, back to whatever.
Van Helsing.
Oh yeah, Van Helsing. I forgot about him. Anyway, Van Helsing. Oh, stretch. Hold on. Teal wants us to stretch. Got a good stretch in. Okay, so Van Helsing, as you'll see in the novel, is kind of a dorky, weird Dutch doctor dude. He has those cool moments, but his character is overall just a sweet, loving guy. He's like the trope of just like sweet on the outside, but the minute you do like the thing that he's like has his dark history, but he switches into like serious mode. Yeah, he's that trope. But I would say the anime equivalent is still that trope. Like specifically, he's like the characters that like have their eyes closed all the time, and they only open them when they're about to do like final battle type shit. When they're like actually in serious mode, he's that. That's Van Helsing in the book. Pop culture latched onto his cool vampire hunter aspect of his character, and over the years, he's been morphed into a sexy, badass vampire hunter creature. Much like Dracula, his original lore has been kind of butchered, but he is the origin of what has become known as a vampire hunter or vampire slayer. So he is like one of the, if not like the first people to like kind of coin the term vampire hunter. Much like Dracula, blah, 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 I already read that. So you can think specifically for a lot of aesthetic you may think of when you think of vampire hunter. Why is my button not working? So here's him in Over Many Interpretations. That's the 1931 one with Bela Lugosi. I believe this was 70. Here is Wolverine.
How did we get here?
It's Van Helsing. Can't you tell? They're all the same person. As you can see, he went through a bit of a phase. So
is that Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, it is. That's why I said Wolverine.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so Hugh Jackman played Van Helsing in the Van Helsing movie, which was like a steampunk goth monster hunting vampire slaying movie where Van Helsing was Hugh Jackman, aka the coolest motherfucker around. And also this lady from a show, she's also a Helsing. She's the most recent one, I think. And also this. Oh, and also this. Oh, go back. So this anime, we'll get into this anime later. Actually, it's actually very important.
I love the abridged one.
It's so good. Yeah, what?
So stupid.
I liked it when he was ugly. Let weird Dutch men be vampire hunters. So true. Yeah, we made Dracula too sexy. Let's make Van Helsing sexy. That's how it works. Yup. Oh yeah, the most recent one is What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't watched that show though. I haven't finished it. So this one is from an Otome game called Code Realize, and he's Van Helsing.
Oh my god, that's a twink.
God, he is. The original
Why does
Helsing.
he looks like the rejected member of my Panic at the Disco during their Ballad of Mona Lisa era.
Oh my god. He looks like an edgy person. He looks like an edgy interpretation of America from Italia.
He does.
Van Helsing arrives, and then he leaves. It's okay because... Oh, we're back to the novel now. It's okay because as Dr. Seward recounts in a letter to Arthur, he's going home because he needs to think about what her sickness could mean, which is strange, to say the least. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Oh, the Italian reference.
Oh wait.
Listen, the words that come out of my mouth, I don't remember them once they're gone. It's how I keep myself sane. You guys may hate me, but you have to live with me. I live with me. So, Helsing tells John via telegram that Lucy should be fine, but she's lost a lot of blood. Also very funny how they just don't ever question how Lucy lost so much blood. Where did it go? Or like anything like that. They just go, damn, that's crazy. Anyway, I hate them. I hate those men. While that's happening, Seward's patient, Renfield, has stopped eating flies, saying how he's sick of all that rubbish. Things are okay for about 2 more days because on September 6th, John sends a panic telegram to Helsing that Lucy has gotten worse and that they need him ASAP. Things are okay for... so Van Helsing arrives again to check out Lucy, and they decide to do an emergency blood transfusion between Arthur and Lucy.
Hey.
Fun history fact. Blood transfusions were the hot new thing in medicine at the time, so they had no regard for frivolous things such as blood types.
Who needs them?
Who needs them? She must have low iron. She's just got anemia. It's fine. She's okay. So the transfusion works for a short time, and while Dr. Seward reads off to Helsing Lucy's symptoms, he suddenly shifts gears to become far more serious. They also point out the super infected looking puncture wounds finally. It took them a while. It fucking took them a while. He knows what's going on, obviously, but won't tell them what just yet. Arthur is also there this whole time. He's not doing much, though. What the fuck are medical complications? I've never heard of them.
Really?
Oop. Some more blood transfusions from Seward. Later, Lucy still isn't much better. Helsing resolves to drastic measures to covers Lucy's entire room in garlic flowers and makes her wear a ring of it around her neck. He assures John and Arthur that everything will be so fine, so they leave. The literal next day, Lucy is near dead because her mother threw out the horrible smelling strong flowers from Lucy's room and opened up a window to give her some fresh air overnight. So they have to do more blood transfusions. 4 days later, while Lucy steadily gets better, a wolf escapes from the local zoological gardens. And Dr. Seward is attacked by Renfield, who slits his wrist and starts to drink the blood. Seward survives, but because of the incident, he doesn't spend the night watching Lucy, which means the next morning they return to find Lucy's mother dead, and Lucy's neck's absolutely fucked up, and she needs another blood transfusion. Stat. So, in the one night they weren't watching, Lucy's mother gets fucking murdered, and Lucy almost dies herself.
Jesus Christ.
Luckily, Quincy finally shows up, even though he's confused how she keeps losing blood. He's like, okay, I'll help, and he also gets a blood transfusion. This is interesting analyzation people come from the novel, because Lucy's the only one being drank from like a juice box. I don't know. So, here's the fun thing about the novel, is that it's like, people have analyzed this scene to also be another very sexual kind of thing, because Lucy gets blood, aka gets quote-unquote fluids, from all of her suitors. Her fiancé, Seward, and also now Quincy. So people see it as like a kind of polyamory thing, or kind of seeing like that's what she wanted, because she does say in the novel, I can't find the exact... My book's all the way over there. I'm not gonna grab it. But she does say in the letters to Mina how she's like, why can't we just all marry each other and be done with this frivolous mess, or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like a thing. It's very much analyzed and shit like that. But yeah, so Lucy was very much pro polyamory because she got 3 proposals from 3 guys she really liked, but she chose the rich guy at the end of the day. Oh, I also forgot to mention, but Arthur's father died recently, so considering Lucy's condition, how much blood he's giving her, his mother-in-law murder, his dead dad, he's really going through it, and he's becoming near despondent. He spends, like, most of the novel during this section just with Quincy crying.
My guy.
My guy. Rich men are dangerous, so that is true. Poor Lucy. Mina this whole time has been sending letters to Lucy, telling her how she's married now and on her way back to England, how happy she is. Lucy never opens a single letter because of her condition. Oh, also, Renfield escapes around this time. A lot's going on. September 19th, Seward spots a bat floating by Lucy's window. September 20th, Lucy's wounds are mysteriously gone, but she's about to die. And then she does. Rip. Couldn't see that coming. Lucy's dead. Rest in peace, Queen. You would have loved Girls Like Girls by Haley Kiyoko and the Concept of Polyamory. Queen shit, truly. I miss her already. Also, the novel spends a very long time talking about how her corpse is really sexy. That actually is important because it means that she's going all vampire. What a twist. But they don't see it coming because they're fucking idiots.
Amen.
Rest in peace. Love ya, Queen. Pre and post funeral. Also, where's Mina? I love her. I miss her. While everyone mourns Lucy, Helsing casually covers the coffin and body with garlic and places a crucifix in Lucy's mouth and tells Seward that after the funeral, this is not even a joke, it's like during the funeral, after the funeral, they need to soon return to Lucy's grave and cut off her head and take out her heart. Casually. He's just like, yeah, I know you're mourning, but we gotta come back tomorrow night and just like fucking, you know? And he's like, oh, what the fuck?
Just put it on your to-do list. We gotta see if we can pencil that in at some point.
Yeah, I know you're really busy with like mourning your like dead ex-girlfriend or whatever, but like, bro, we like gotta do this. Like, bro, time and place. He's not the best at this. So Arthur's deep in mourning, but also notes how even though she's dead, she's more beautiful than ever, which is strange since as she was dying, she looked like a corpse. But now that she is a corpse, she looks alive. Wild. Who cares? Anyway, Mina's in London now with Jonathan, who is having a panic attack because he sees a man who's been following him around who looks like Dracula. It is Dracula, but they don't know that. His panic attacks get so bad he passes out, and Mina finally decides to read the diary to figure out who Dracula is and why her husband would react like that. I hope she kills men. It's what she deserves. That night, Mina gets a telegram from that Lucy's dead. Oh yeah, remember, this whole time she's been in, like, Hungary.
Oh, God.
She did not know Lucy was dead till she got there. She was like, no. Where's my girl Lucy? And Lucy's fucking dead.
Sadness.
But yeah, very fun. That night, Mina gets a telegram, Lucy's dead, her mom's dead. Oh, you forgot, also her mom is dead. And she missed the funerals. To top it all off, children have been starting to disappear around where Lucy was buried in Hampstead Heath. And she's been reported as the Bloofer Lady, which is children trying to say beautiful lady. But they're kids, so they can't say it. So the kids she's killing are very, very, very young on top of that.
Oh, no.
Mina, to get her mind off of everything, begins to transcribe Jonathan's journals with her typewriter, and she's downright horrified with his contents. Then Van Helsing. Why can't I fucking... Van Helsing! My own typo fucked me up so bad. Jesus Christ. Van Helsing shows up, and the two use the only brain cells in this entire novel to piece together the story of everything that's happened so far.
Finally, someone with a brain.
That probably happened a lot back then. You take a week to go visit your long-distance GF bestie, only to find out they are dead. Yeah, let's go, gays, let's go!
Yay.
Renfield has returned to his catching flies. He escaped, but he came back. Arthur and Quincy are on a dude bro bonding trip. Like I said, Quincy is like his emotional support cowboy throughout all of this. And the shock of Van Helsing believing Jonathan sparks his memories, so he's back in the picture. Yeah, it's like a whole thing where like Van Helsing tells him just like, oh my god, don't worry, Jonathan, my boy, I believe you. I believe everything here. I believe in all of this. It's my whole thing. And he's like, what? Really? And then all of his memories come back.
Jesus Christ.
And then he like embraces Helsing. He's like, thank God, somebody who believes me. I thought nobody would believe me. It's just like, dude. Okay, whatever.
Poor guy.
They call me Val Helsing. Yeah, that's you. Helsing also crashes to his beloved John's place to tell him that Lucy is the one eating children, which John immediately calls him mad. They have a lover's quarrel for a bit over why would Helsing lie about something that's insane before deciding the best route of action is just to prove if Helsing is right or not. Which, you know what? Good. Then they kiss.
Good.
So they grab dinner and go. They're just like, okay, we'll go tonight. But first, do you want to go to dinner date? Let's go get dinner. And then they go to dinner and go investigate the graveyard and find Lucy's coffin empty. What happened there? What probably happened there was that somehow she got the crucifix out of her mouth, and that's the only reason why she was able to get up. It's never explained exactly how.
Okay.
It's implied, probably Renfield, but also he was, like, behind bars at the time, so we don't know. I don't know. It just happened.
Amazing.
So, they later find a hurt child nearby, and when they visit her coffin again in the morning, they find that Lucy is back and looks even younger and better than before. Let's go to... You can't investigate on an empty stomach. You gotta go to the Olive Garden before you go. Come on. Common fucking sense.
Yeah, there's a process.
She's a spitter! Ah! Mister, I'm gonna ban you.
Oh my god.
God. So Seward panics over what this could all mean, but Helsing tells him essentially, don't worry, she's just undead now. We simply need to decapitate her, fill her mouth with garlic, and drive a stake through her heart. Easy.
That's the common solution for most issues.
Yeah.
I had a flat tire. I had to do that, and it fixed itself.
They decide to finally tell Arthur. Also, let me read this excerpt from John and Helsing because it's really funny. I'm satisfied that Lucy's body is not in that coffin, but that only proves one thing. And what is that, friend John? That is not there. That is not good logic.
It's just oh shit.
Here's the thing about Helsing's whole character is that he's super fucking cool, but he's so casual about everything he shouldn't be casual about. Like this motherfucker. He has a brain cell, but he uses it for vampire knowledge, not for social cues. He's not about that life.
So, he has his priorities straight.
Yeah, they decide to finally tell Arthur and Quincy about what's going on as well, and they agree to follow Helsing and Seward to the graveyard and only do what he wants if what he's saying is true and that he can prove it. Because remember, Arthur was Lucy's fiance, so it was all of them there, and they were like, "We'll only do what you're saying if it's actually true, because you sound fucking insane."
Yeah.
So Arthur's week-long panic attacks continue. Woohoo! Woo! The four men go to Lucy's grave and find it empty that night, unsurprisingly. Moments later, Lucy appears, holding an injured child, and her mouth is covered in fresh blood. Arthur and Quincy and John take this as a solid proof, and the following evening, they all return to Lucy's tomb, and Arthur is the one tasked with plunging the stake into her heart. One panic attack later, he does so.
Valid. I mean...
Van Helsing is autistic, and his special interest is vampire hunting. We all know this. It's just common knowledge.
Love that for him.
So, what the fuck was I reading? Where was I? Oh yeah. He panic attack later. Helsing, okay, kiss your girlfriend now. Yeah, he does so, and Helsing tells him he is free to kiss her now, as she is truly dead and no longer undead. I don't know, but Arthur seemed happy about to hear it, so he kisses his fiancée once more. They cut off her head and fill it with garlic, and then they all leave the tomb, and Helsing tells them that their work isn't done, though.
Oh,
They're like, no. Oh yeah, he has to drive the stake to the titty, because that's where the heart is. You know, that's how it is. The poor titty. Oh sevens to the titty.
Oh, sevens for the titty.
At the end of the day.
The true loss is the titty.
Lesbians know the heart is in the titty. We know. We get it.
Kaya,
so true. Kaya, so true. So based. Jonathan and Mina. Love is stored in the titties. Jonathan and Mina go stay with Dr. Seward at the asylum for a bit, and Mina is given the task to transcribe his diary while John reads Jonathan's journal. And this is the part while I was writing the deep dive that I realized that one character is called John, and the other is called Jonathan, and that fucks with me. So it's gonna be Seward. Because Bram Stoker hates me personally.
Truly.
So, while John reads Jonathan's journal, he realized that Dracula could very well be his literal next-door neighbor, aka Carfax, aka the house that Renfield's been escaping to this whole time. Put two and two together, he finally did it. I'm so proud of him. Basic fucking math. You're a doctor!
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, Jonathan's out investigating the boxes of dirt that were shipped from Transylvania to England. And that, I must lurk, but I have a good stream. Bye! Bye, Kaya! Bye-bye! Meanwhile, Jonathan's out investigating the boxes of dirt that were shipped from Transylvania to England, and all 50 were shipped, but not all of them were in the chapel at Carfax. Arthur shows up and has Quincy there to comfort him, and he's still pretty shaken up. Mina visits Renfield, who tells her she should stay out of the Dracula business. She doesn't deserve to get fucked over by him.
Fair.
So here's the lore. So the boys, meanwhile, get all the Nosferatu undead lore from Helsing, and it reveals a lot of vampire lore Stoker had created in the book. A lot of it we still see to this day. A lot of it has gone remotely underused in modern adaptations. So here's Stoker vampires, pros and cons. Pros:
Let's go.
super strength and pede,
Super strength and pede.
Yeah, super strength, super pee, it happens. And speed. My hand is going numb. He can turn himself into a wolf and also a bat. Lizard-like wall scaling abilities. Piss, 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 piss. It's not the piss miser. Stop talking about the piss miser. Also, yes, people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. Originally, Dracula was the one who could turn into a wolf. It wasn't just Wolfman. Dracula could do that too. Vampires could do that too. That was a thing they were able to do. Ooh, so all vampires are not only gay, but they're gay furries. Get in your head, people. Wake up, people.
Wake up, people.
Wake up. God. He can turn into mist and control that mist form over distances. He can walk on moonbeams. He can shrink himself and fit through narrow spaces and corners with ease. And he also can see in the dark. He can't turn into a lizard, but he has lizard-like abilities. So he can, like, basically, like, climb walls like a fucking lizard and shit like that. And also I think he has, like, a forked tongue in some interpretations, too. It depends. Cons. He can't enter anywhere without permission. He needs blood to survive. His powers only work at night, and once at daybreak, he has to return to his coffin or bury himself, or both. He can only transform at noon, sunrise, or sunset. He can't pass running water unless it's at the slack or the flood of the tide.
Wow.
Garlic and holy symbols propel him. The branch of a wild rose placed on his coffin can hold him there. A sacred bullet fired into his coffin while he's in it presumably can kill him. So amazing. I color-coded them. Yellow is lore we still see to this day. Pink is lore not used very often. And the dark purple is that we, as a society, gotta bring this back. He can walk on fucking moonbeams? Bring that shit back. That's hilarious. That's incredible.
Oh my god.
I want that back in my life. It's so funny. And more lizards. We need more lizards. Bring it back. Bring it back. And bring back his wolf abilities too. But that one's just like, meh. But you joke. Tila, you joke? That's a plot point. Sacred bullet means exactly that. Fucking... Fucking he blesses the Glock and uses that to kill. That's the only way you can do it. And also, only transforming at noon, sunrise, or sunset is such a funny nerf that I want to bring it back. It's very funny. I love it so dearly.
Like, you have to schedule it?
You have to schedule your transformations. If you're, like, too late, bro, it sucks to suck. You can only do it. I'm sorry.
Wait another 12 hours.
Yeah, wait another 12 hours. Well, 8 hours, because noon also. Well, it depends. Yeah, you know how it is. But, like, yeah, sunrise, sunset, and noon. So when the winter hits, his transformation schedule gets all fucked out of whack.
Gotta rearrange some shit.
So, boys, the plan is simple. I made this meme myself. Do you like it?
Yes.
Thank you. So, Van Helsing conducts a plan that they need to kill Dracula by tracking down all of his boxes to corner him and sterilize the earth so that he can't return to them for safety. The boxes are like his spawn points, and they're going around capturing and spawn trapping them, destroying all of them to corner Dracula so he has nowhere else to hide. That's basically how it is.
Did you just use fucking Minecraft?
Yes, to help the readers understand. I know you're all filthy Minecrafters. I know that helped.
You're a filthy Minecrafter.
I know. That's why I knew it would help. Fuck you. However, I can hear the Ludwig in my head. However, Mina is barred from helping in their plan because she is too precious to us to have such risk. When we part tonight, you no more must question. We are men and are able to bear, but you must be our star and our hope, and we shall act all the more fry that you are not in danger, such as we are. Which is bullshit!
Men be quiet.
Men slash neg. I fucking hate men. This is such bullshit. I hate it.
You are a female, therefore you cannot.
Yeah, therefore, naughty, and illegal. It's bullshit. So the
What
night
do you get for having those goddamn ovaries?
Apparently, God. The night ends with them visiting Renfield, who's begging to be released to avoid some terrible consequences. He's denied. These terrible consequences, while the men find that only 29 out of the 50 boxes are in the chapel, so they need to scour all over the country to find at least the last 21, Mina is visited by Dracula in the middle of the night. Don't worry, it gets worse. My balls are on my chest, bitch. Cause your own fault there, dudes. Jonathan finds 12 of the remaining boxes of Earth got sent to 2 houses in London, and the last 9 in a London suburb called Piccadilly, which I didn't think was real. Because British words don't make sense to me.
British words don't exist.
They don't exist. Which is a densely populated area, so they can't just break and enter at will. I know. If you just fucking took Mina with you, you could have avoided all of this. Fucking idiots. As they figure out a plan, Renfield exhibits weird behavior, and that all he wants is life and doesn't care about the flies anymore. Dr. Seward questions him about souls, and Renfield rejects the mere idea of a soul, and nonsense follows. And the following evening, Renfield is found in his cell, dying and covered in blood. Seward, Quincy, Arthur, and Helsing all run to the asylum upon hearing this. Apparently, meeting Mina shook Renfield to his core and made him realize Dracula wasn't all that he was cracked up to be if he was the one burdening Mina, and that he'd attacked him when he visited again. Also, yeah, Dracula had been visiting Renfield for several weeks by this point for fun. He wasn't a vampire. Brit slash neg. True. He wasn't a vampire. Renfield was just like his servant?
Amazing.
I don't know. A bad idea. As Dracula thoroughly beat his ass before disappearing in a puff of smoke, Helsing grabs the squad as they run for the Harker's room to check on Mina, and they break down the door to find this scene, which is like
What is happening?
exactly. So
What is going on?
so there's Jonathan, and there's Mina suckling on Dracula's titty. So let's.
She latched on to Dracula's city.
So So let me explain this scene in detail because it's a fucking lot. Y'all thought the book was wild before? This scene drives me fucking bananas. So what the fuck was that? There's the men barge in to find Jonathan unconscious and Mina being pressed against a wound that on Dracula's breast and sucking on his blood. Drac laughs at the intruders until Helsing throws some communion wafers at him and he retreats and turns back into mist and disappears. Mina falls unconscious, covered in blood. Quincy chases after the mist. Oh yeah, communion wafers are overpowered. Remember how I said it's holy symbols? Wafers are a holy symbol.
It's like just throwing, just like, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, communion wafers, the Jeezits, if you will, thank you, Mystery. They're very important to this fucking novel, because they're holy symbols, they're easy to get. So, communion wafers at him, and he retreats and turns back into the mist and disappears. Mina falls unconscious and covered in blood. Quincy chases after the mist and watches as a bat flies into the Carfax. Mina and Jonathan wake up sometime later to explain what happened. Essentially, Mina woke up in the middle of the night to Jonathan knocked out and the Drac threatened to kill him if she made a sound, for he stabbed himself in the titty and forced her to drink his blood in order to make her flesh of my flesh. AKA speedrun her vampire transformation. Yeah, so I was asking about communion wafers. So Stoker was this is back to history. Stoker was a very religious man, as many good Victorian authors were. So it should be noted that along with every weapon in Helsing's arsenal being holy and deeply Catholic, Dracula is seen as like the Antichrist. The blood of Christ gives life, while the Dracula's blood guarantees death and damnation of your soul. While it's written as like terrifying and gross and very much SAE, every film show adaptation I've seen that includes this scene makes it so horny. And honestly, it's just kind of gross. Drac has no real reason to do this, but why does he? Because Jonathan cares about Mina. That's really it. That's the only canonical reason why he's targeting Mina specifically in this manner. Because if he just wanted another wife or bride, like he did with Lucy, he would have just bitten her. But he went out of his way to do this.
Amazing.
So here's an intermission that no one asked for. Shut up. So Dracula is frequently seen in the novels trying to get close to men. In this case, really just Jonathan Harker, but stay with me. And does so by directly harming those around Jonathan, specifically the women. He's not gay because he loves men. He's gay because he hates women type shit. Jonathan is, in a sense, a stand-in for Stoker and Dracula's, as we discussed, and is stand for Stoker and Dracula, as we discussed, is everything he's ever feared, and also his boss that he desperately wanted. Mina is his love of his life, his perfect ideal wife. There are too many points of the dialogue that talk about how Mina has a man's mind but a woman's heart, and that's why all the men love her so much. It's because it's literally, this lyric from The Internet Ruined Me describes why everyone loves Mina so goddamn much. There's a literal reason why it's there. You're political enough but not to scary, sexual enough but not to scare me, give me a reason not to be on my knees. Like, that whole thing is like exactly the phenomenon of Mina's character, where she's like, she's confident but she still needs her husband. She's powerful but she's not too powerful, you know?
Yeah.
She's that. She has, and as they said in the novel, she has a man's mind, but a woman's heart, whatever that means. And as much as I adore her, she's pretty much just the ideal category of Victorian woman, where she is headstrong, but knows her place in society very well. She doesn't ask for Jonathan for anything like sex, just for him to be there, which is what Stoker always wanted out of a woman.
Amazing.
Many interpretations will include a romantic subplot between Mina and Dracula, despite the fact that the two only interact here when he's forcing her to drink his own blood while he laughs at the men who walk in, and he laughs at Jonathan's unconscious body, and at the very end of the novel. Also, hello, hi Nim.
Hi Nim.
What's the point of this intermission? To remind you that this book is strange. Drac is a toxic ex, and it's currently midnight. And I was right at this. I probably remember I made this slide. Hi, featured shy.
Oh my god. Well, did you remember making this slide?
I didn't remember that part. I see. But yeah, there's my little gay intermission in case you forgot. This book is fucking strange and very gay, and there's a lot of history behind it, and I don't like a lot of interpretations that make it romantic. So communion wafers are the secret to killing vampires. So a few breakdowns later, and everyone is ready to kill Dracula's time, especially for what he did to Mina. Also, Dracula has snuck into Renfield's cell shortly after the Mina incident and had broken his neck, killing him, as it seems like he was no longer needed. So, Renfield's, he's dead. Rest in peace. Harker and the boys go to Carfax the next day and place a communion wafer in each of the Dracula's boxes of earth before they can head to Piccadilly. The next day, they seal Mina's room with wafers as well. Like I said, wafers are the secret to killing vampires in this fucking novel.
Amazing.
To check her stages of vampirism, Helsing places a wafer against her forehead, which burns her and leaves a nasty scar. Mina has a breakdown over it, crying and calling herself unclean. Helsing, what's the point of that? He was just checking! Yeah, garlic bread is more of a recent thing that people use as like a haha, this can kill vampires, when everyone forgets communion wafers are the true key to killing vampires. Yeah, credit on the arm, but over the fucking forehead, the very visible part of her forehead, he's stupid. He's stupid. The men separate, with Quincy and Arthur going to the houses in London and Jonathan and Van Helsing dealing with the ones in Piccadilly, but when they arrive, only 8 of the boxes are there. Dracula shows up, sees the men, and escapes. The men regroup at Seward's place and realize Mina has a psychic connection to Dracula.
Of course.
Of course. It's Mina. It's what she deserves, truly, at the end of the day. Simba. So Mina has psychic powers now. Look at her psychic powers arc.
Ooh.
So, Mina... Gotta confirm, Quincy and Arthur did come to my house. Oh yeah, I remember you told me about that. How a cowboy and then just like some man just broke into your house and left. I remember that story. God. Oh yeah, I fucking love garlic, honestly. Mina may not be a vampire. Garlic is fantastic. It is.
Me and my family used to go to a garlic festival every year. It was good.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Oh, so good.
That sounds so tasty.
Very.
Alright, so Mina may not be a vampire through and through yet, but she definitely is connected to him now. Helsing hypnotizes her, and she can hear what the Count is hearing, and she hears the sound of the ocean and the rocking of a ship. This means that the Count has fled England with his last remaining box of earth, and he's going back to Transylvania. Go to a garlic fest just as a vampire, ultimate power move, true. Helsing discovers that the Count has boarded a ship called the Zarina Catherine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I tried. Helsing gives a speech about the power of friendship versus good and evil and how their pledge to set the world free. The bros try to leave again without Mina until she stands up for herself, saying her literal telepathic connection to Dracula could be fucking useful. And they go, fine, and they let her join. But I'm currently running a vampire lesbian story with a psych connection. I don't know how I did that. Gay rights. That's how. Before they leave, Mina tells them that as useful as her powers are, that if she turns full vampire, that they should kill her. They also learn that Mina's telepathic connection goes 2 ways, as Dracula could sense their impending ambush in Varna, and instead docked in Galatz, since she could sense their arrival. Van Helsing thinks it's good, actually, since now Dracula is going to get cocky and they can feed Mina false info to give to the Count. Notice how fucking useful Mina is in this goddamn novel.
amazing.
These men drive me fucking insane because they're like, oh my god, thank god we brought you. Thank god we had the hindsight to bring you, Mina. And she's like, I fought to be here.
I'm men.
Men. The audacity. The caucasity of it all. I hate men. God. I'm a man-hating lesbian. I'm on a rampage. I'm gonna start biting, I swear to God. We stand Mina in this goddamn household. Yeah, Mina's useful, but she's a woman. She has titties. How are we gonna let her in the station special? She has titties.
How are we going to let this titty have her do anything?
That's impossible. No, can't be. So Mina's getting sick, so we gotta wrap this shit up fast. So the bros and Mina are still searching for Dracula over the next couple days, and as the title says, she's been getting significantly weaker. They get a breakthrough when Mina's trances reveal that Dracula is close to water because of the sounds of lapping waves. They finally get to Galatz and talk to the captain of the Serena, Catherine, who tells them that some dude named Emanuel Hildesheim picked up the box and gave it to a traitor named Petrov Skinsky. Skinsky, unsurprisingly, is found dead shortly after with his throat torn out.
Oh no.
How could have this happened? Impossible.
We just met him.
I know. Mina points to the group that Mina points out to the group the possible ways Drac could get from there to his castle. So the group splits. Again, Mina, the most useful bitch around, is like, here's a map. Here's all the possible ways you can get to his castle. We gotta separate and cover every single possible way to stop him. And they're like, oh my god, Mina, you're so smart and sexy. And she's like, I know.
Mina, we love to see it.
I love Mina so goddamn much. So Mina and Helsing take a train, Arthur and Jonathan hire a steamboat, and Seward and Quincy travel on horseback because he's a cowboy, in case you forgot. Of course. While Jonathan and Arthur hear about a large boat ahead of them that probably has Dracula, Quincy, and large boat that probably has Dracula, Quincy and Seward have, I don't know, probably has some gay cowboy adventure off camera. They never explain the gay cowboy adventure. They just suddenly they appear at the end. They're like, wow, we're back from our cowboy trip.
It broke back mountain, man.
Basically. The end is here. Helsing and Mina arrive near the castle. Mina significantly weaker at this point, and Helsing can't hypnotize her anymore, so he surrounds her with wafers and heads to the castle on his own. Before going, he writes a goodbye note to Seward. You know, gay people. Casually. Ooh, you done with painting? Nice. It's a daytime, and he finds the tomb of the 3 female vampires, and he kills them all while they sleep. You know, cutting off the head, sticking the heart, blah, 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 blah. And then he seals the entrance to Dracula's home with more wafers. He then returns to Mina and tells her that it's time to keep moving. How many fucking wafers did this guy bring? I don't fucking know. But again, wafers are the literal key to defeating Dracula.
I mean, it makes sense.
Catholicism, am I right? Then, miraculously, I guess, Helsing, Mina, Jonathan, Arthur, Seward, and Quincy all end up at the same place, following a large cart in the road being driven by a group of Romani people. They use the G-slur for them in the entire book, so unfortunate. Because it was written in 1897. They mentioned if they're blessed wafers. They are. They are blessed wafers. They're all custom blessed, I guess. I don't know. Again, I don't know how many Helsing brought, but he brought a fuck ton, I guess. So it's final battle time. Go! The men intercept the cart and force their way onto it, fighting off Drac's followers. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they just work for him or they're just like locals who are forced into it. Quincy gets stabbed in the process while defending Jonathan, and Jonathan manages to pry the box open. Seward and Arthur take out their rifles and start fighting. Oh yeah, I forgot to. Oh yeah, Quincy gets stabbed. That's important. Seward and Arthur take out their rifles and start firing. And in the confusion, Jonathan slices Dracula's neck open, and Quincy stabs him through the heart, effectively killing him. Dracula dies with a look of peace, such as I never could have imagined might have rested there. Did he want this? Is he happy it was Jonathan and a cowboy? Is he free? Was he expecting this? We'll never know.
Sad.
Quincy bleeds out after being stabbed, surrounded by friends. Before he dies, he points out that Mina's scar on her forehead has vanished. Now, God be thanked that all... he's a cowboy, I keep forgetting. Now, God be thanked that all has not been in vain. See, the snow is not more stainless than her forehead. The curse has passed away. And then he dies. In the epilogue, 7 years have passed, and Mina and Jonathan have a kid named Quincy. Arthur depends on interpretation. Usually the blessings don't matter, and the beliefs holder pardon matter. Okay. Arthur and Seward get married, but not to each other. It was confusing.
Yeah.
I thought they got married to each other, got really excited, but it wasn't. And Van Helsing becomes like a godfather / weird old uncle to Mina's son. It ends with this line. We want no proofs. We ask none to believe us. This boy will someday know what a brave and gallant woman his mother is. Already he knows her sweetness and loving care, and later on he will understand how some men so loved her that they did dare much for her sake. The end.
Gay.
Of the summary. Fuck you. We got one more part. Okay, but first, the big question. It's gay. Why are vampires sexy now? After the whole shebang, after all, like, the knowledge about Bram Stoker, about the novel itself, why are vampires sexy now? Joke answer, 'cause dangerous sexy. Bite neck and or breast, which was started, I believe, by Carmilla and popularized by Dracula, because gay people.
Gay.
To essentially suck blood, sexy. More thought out answer, homophobia, essentially. Let me explain.
God damn it.
It's never fun. Can I whisper you a link because I found it fucking funny? Post it in the Discord. We have the links channel. Dracula and Carmilla were the start of creating a narrative that where vampires were seen as sexual taboo beings. The mythos of vampires or vampire-like beings that, as we know them now, has existed since ancient times across cultures. But it wasn't until these novels that the monsters were taken to mean something so human. Vampires usually are used as a metaphor for repressed desires, and by making them represent such a carnal human experience, it humanizes them. It makes them more than just a metaphor, but makes them characters to sympathize, pity, and lust after. Tragedy can be sexy. I could do a whole video essay on how this fits in with the he's broken so I can fix him mentality humans have always had, because that's really what a lot of vampire media has become synonymous with. From Nosferatu to Interview with a Vampire to Twilight even, there's no shortage of vampire interpretations outside of just including Dracula, the character. But none of these would be possible without it, and Carmilla quite literally having their vampires represent, well, queer people. More of the story is, according to 1800s, nothing is scarier than immigrants and gay people. But once you get into the more racist elements, you get some sexy shit.
Gay people are sexy.
Gay people are sexy. And, you know, taboos and blah, 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 sexy, blah, 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 blah. So, now that we have all this info now, what do we do with it?
Take a nap.
So she hasn't changed much since then. No naps! No naps allowed during deep dives. Let's talk about adaptations and Hollywood's cowardice and why you can't separate the gay from Dracula.
Yay!
Woo! Oh no, I know I can't change it. I just want to be there for his rights and wrongs. And see, that horny shit is a part of vampire lore why people call it sexy. Thank you for proving my point, G. So the film world of Dracula is fascinating. Welcome to Chai's Film Review Corner. Warning, I'm mean and bitter and a fucking hater. But it is fascinating to look at all the Dracula movies and see how people's interpretation of him has kind of shifted and changed over the years. I'll be going over the ones that are like based on the novels that are pretty well known and are different from different eras, so to say, and ones that I've actually seen. Okay, Pog, cool. Let's start with Nosferatu, 1922. This ugly fucking bitch. So, 1922 German black and white silent film Nosferatu Symphony of Horrors is the first movie adaptation of Dracula, except no it isn't. Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horrors follows the real estate agent named Thomas Hutter, who is visiting the mysterious Count Orlok, who is suspiciously pale and weird, and yeah, it was already, it follows a lot of Dracula without the charm or characters, and also the anti-Semitism that was already in the original novel is ramped up to 700%, you know, because Nosferatu has like a hooked nose, pointy ears, a bald head, kind of hunched over. It's very bad. Main deviations include that instead of England, it takes place in Germany. Characters like Quincy and Arthur have been removed entirely, and Orlok only kills his victims and doesn't try to make them into vampires. Also, in this one, Mina, Ellen, dies, which is an interesting choice. The original German film title card acknowledges Dracula as a source of inspiration for the film, and names were changed in order to have a defense against copyright infringement. Florence, Stoker's wife, did try to sue for copyright. I believe she won, which is why this movie is kind of harder to find. Yeah, it's a very stereotypical anti-Semitist design. It's really bad. Biggest takeaway from it is that this film is the first time we see a vampire die to sunlight in media instead of just being weakened by it, because Dracula never dies to sunlight, he's just weakened by it, which is why he sleeps throughout the day. This is the first time in media where vampires actually die to sunlight, so that's where that part of the mythos comes in. This is from the wiki. When the foreign Orlok arrives in Wisburg by ship, he brings with him a swarm of rats, which, in a deviation from the source novel, spread the plague through the town. This plot element associates Orlok with rodents and the idea of the Jew as disease-causing agent. Writer Kevin Jackson has noted that director F.W. Murnau was friendly with and protective of a number of Jewish men and women throughout his life, including Jewish actor Alexander Granach, who plays Knock in Nosferatu. Additionally, a magistral wrote that Murnau, being a homosexual, would have been presumably more sensitive to the persecution of a subgroup instead of a larger German society. As such, it has been said that the perceived associations between Orlok and anti-Semitic stereotypes are unlikely to have been conscious decisions on the part of Murnau. It just goes to show you that, one, you can be gay, you can be in an oppressed group and also oppress somebody else. That's always consistent. That can always happen. And also that giving him the benefit of the doubt, he might not have known these associations. He might have seen like, ooh, scary image. I'm put it in my thing without knowing the history behind it, which is why you should always do your research.
Yes.
But overall, I would give this one a 2.5 out of 10. It's kind of lame. I don't like the changes. I don't like the design. It's also kind of boring. I like silent films. I just don't like this one. So 2.5 out of 10. It's giving that it gets that score because it created the sun thing, which is a cool thing. I like how it has that. I like how it has that impact. Next movie, Dracula 1931. Yeah! Also, yeah, I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because it's 1922. It's in Germany. Semitism was in like full-blown swing. I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just gonna say he probably knew, but also, if we were giving him the benefit of the doubt, he was probably just stupid. But back to this one, the only one that matters, Bella! Yeah! Woo! Oh, my arm hurts.
Oh my god. So,
I'm a slut for this one, okay? I'm a fucking whore. I love this one. So the first official Dracula novel film adaptation, Universal Pictures' Dracula, stars icon and legend Bela Lugosi. His portrayal of Dracula is what launched the character into pop culture iconography, as many interpretations of the character here henceforth take most of their inspiration from his interpretation. The movie was a huge success, and several sequels and spin-offs and countless other kinds of vampire media was spawned after it. As to the plot, they took liberties. Renfield is the solicitor visiting Dracula's castle. He loses his mind during this time with Dracula and becomes his slave. Renfield and Dracula return together to England, and Renfield is still sent to the sanatorium to be watched under Dr. Seward, and Mina is actually Dr. Seward's daughter in this one. Don't know where they pulled that one out of, but that's what happens. Jonathan's still her fiance, and Lucy still dies and turns into a vampire, and Dracula walks around as, like, a normal dude in a lot of this. He's only really caught when Helsing points out that he doesn't have a reflection in this scene. Yeah, he walks around like this, and no one clocks him until he's like, "You don't have a reflection!" And he's like,
oh. Shit. He got me there.
He's like, "Ah, fuck! Ah, shit! Ah, tits! Ah, ass!" I love it. The scene is so dramatic, but it's so stupid. I love it so much. Mina is still targeted by Dracula just because he says he belongs to him now, and Jonathan and Helsing kill Dracula together. Renfield dies because Dracula thinks he betrayed him near the end. So it's kind of close to the original. But it was like an AU where Mina is a Seward, and also Arthur and Quincy don't exist, and Renfield got a backstory and character development.
I see.
And you know what? Fascinating, but I'm not done, because I'm not done talking about this one. This movie is a renowned classic, and many have pointed to it as have set the standards for vampire films. Dracula was the first of the Universal Monsters, TM, and many considered Lugosi's portrayal to be the definitive Dracula, and had it not been for his particular film, I do not think that Dracula/vampires would be the pop culture legends that they are today. Yes, Universal Monsters, my beloveds. I know, Tofu. It's not the worst interpretation, it's just a fascinating one. It's a fanfic of someone who's Stan Renfield. True! It's a fanfic of somebody who just really wanted Renfield to have more character development. Christopher Lee and Gary Oldman, who played Dracula in later adaptations, look back at Bela Lugosi's Dracula to inspire their own. Christopher Lee thought he was weak and not a fitting choice. Gary Oldman considered Lugosi to be his favorite Dracula. Now for Chai's Film Review Corner. It's silly and goofy and wild adaptation of the novel, but it's too iconic, not gonna lie. Bela's interpretation of Dracula is campy and hammy, and I love it! Leave me be! It gets an 8 out of 10. It would get a 9 out of 10, but... it would get a 9 out of 10, but there's also just two, like, there... but I think it's just because I really like Bela Lugosi, and the minute you remove him, it's kind of meh, but Bella's so good it makes it an 8 out of 10.
Fair.
Icon legend. A lot, dressing up as a mother person. Oh no, it's okay. Oh yeah, Bela Lugosi is the first time we heard Dracula with an accent, since it's the one later adaptations try to copy. So his accent is the one you hear when people try to be Dracula, like the blah blah blah, that shit, yeah. 1970. This one, I have it on DVD, it's in my room. This one is so silly, I love it. I own it on DVD. I bought it for $3 in a little store by the river. I love it so much. The film starts off relatively the same as the novel, but instead, what happens is that Jonathan is bit, and when he escapes, he wakes up in a private psychiatric clinic outside of London, owned by Dr. Van Helsing, and is under the care of Dr. Seward. He was dragged all the way here from Budapest, and was followed the whole time by Dracula, played by fucking Christopher Lee, Count Dooku.
Nice.
And also Ansem from Kingdom Hearts.
God.
Lucy's death is the same. Renfield dies before Lucy, and also Arthur's completely replaced by Quincy to be Lucy's fiance. But he's not a cowboy. They just name him Quincy. I guess they didn't like Arthur.
Rude.
Oh, Val. Yeah, Christopher Lee's Ansem. Did you not recognize his voice when you play? I'm kicking my little feet. I love when Val yells at me.
It's always a great time.
It's always a great time. Interestingly, when Dracula begins corrupting Mina in this movie, he has a stroke. Oh, no. I forgot to say who. Helsing has a stroke and ends up bound to a wheelchair for some reason. Then Harker and Quincy kill Dracula by setting his coffin on fire. Because that worked. It's a weird one. Lots of interesting choices. And while a lot of people haven't seen this version, I love it for its super cheap moments. There's like a part where there's like bats outside of Jonathan's window, and they're all like paper bats held on strings that they just like flutter outside of his window. It's so funny.
I love that.
It's so good. This movie is kind of boring. If you're not someone who loves bad movies, as someone who loves bad movies, or if you just want to watch it when you're not sober, it's a great time. And Christopher Lee is a delight to watch no matter what he's in. It's so, mwah. I give it such a chef's kiss. And he does do a very good Dracula. He took a lot of what Bela Lugosi did and tried to amp up the scare factor. I wish he was given a bigger budget. It could have been excellent. It's okay. It's good. I love it. I hate this fucking movie! I hate it so goddamn much! I hate this fucking movie! I hate you! 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 I hate this goddamn movie so fucking much. So it's the one everyone fucking loves. I don't give a shit. Okay, I literally was so mad. I recorded myself ranting. I'm gonna use this opportunity to go get some water. So I'm gonna leave you with past chai. If you have any questions, I'll come back.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm afraid. Okay.
So the most fucked up part about this movie is the fact that it is like the closest, most accurate, like, adaptation of the book, because it follows like beat for beat so much of the shit. So much of the shit is easily followed, and so much shit is seen and beautifully recreated, and the costumes and the sets, everything looks so gorgeous. But for some heterosexual reason, they decided we need to give Dracula a heterosexual backstory. Let's make it that he had a wife, and let's make it so that Mina is the reincarnation of his wife. So, and the thing is, this movie is popular. It is like there's like the Bela Lugosi Dracula, but everyone has seen this movie if you're like a horror fan. And the thing is, it's a good movie. But if you've read the book, it's a fucking slap in the goddamn face, especially if you do the research about, like, how Dracula is supposed to represent, like, you know, Bram Stoker's, like, queer identity, shit like that. But that's, like, besides the point. It's just, like, a stupid thing to include, because the horror of Dracula is the fact that you don't know why he does the things he does. You don't exactly know why he's going after Mina until you go back and, like, really look deeper into why he would want to target Mina of all people. Like, and then giving him this stupid fucking backstory of the fact that, like, oh, Mina's actually the reincarnation of his wife, that's why they're connected, is so stupid. And it takes away so much of Mina's agency in this movie too, because at the end of the movie, when, like, everyone is just like, when Dracula's, like, dying, she's just like, no, stay away from him, no, he's my lover, in front of her fiance, in front of Jonathan. Me, personally, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't fucking take that. That shit drives me fucking bananas. It makes me so fucking upset. It's so goddamn stupid. And the worst part is because of this fucking movie, so people assume that that's the story between Mina and Dracula. So many stories took that shit and we're just like, oh yeah, Dracula and Mina, you know, love. It's about love never dies. It's about love. It's about the love between the two of them. No, it fucking isn't. He's a creep. He's a creep and he's a fucking weirdo. That's before the gay shit. And also, they made it so that Lucy is, like, super fucking slutty, which I guess that's, like, whatever. I just found it kind of weird. But whatever, I guess. Also, her and Mina kiss, and it's like, it's so heterosexual, because I'm sure the director just put it just because he wanted to be like, hey, let's put some like sexy lesbian action. Let's go. It's like, oh my god, I am. Hi, future Chai of tomorrow. I'm recording this the day before. It is 6:04 p.m.
God.
The day before the deep dive. Future Chai, I'm sure you can ask. I'm sure everything's fine. Just let Colleen ask all the questions you fucking want. I don't give a shit. I hate this fucking movie so much purely because of the fucking stupid ass shit they added with Mina. And you would think that's just one thing. Why do you hate the whole movie for one thing? It's because it takes the core structural message of Dracula and the horror of Dracula, and just makes him a little sympathetic little whiny boy, and it's just weird, because they keep everything else the same about him. Also, during the scene where the 3 vampire women try to suck on fucking Jonathan Harker, they cut out the dialogue where he says that he's his. They cut out that dialogue. Seems a little strange, doesn't it? I need to go.
God damn.
I came back just in time.
You went off.
Can you tell I hate this fucking movie? Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so let's fucking get into it, I guess. Yeah, so, oh my god, I fucking hate looking at this. Oh, I'm so glad Velpina's on my side. Also, is Kaya back? I saw Kaya fly by in the chat. Hi Kaya, welcome back. I'm angry. I'm fucking angry. Hello, do you have any questions for me?
No, I understand your rage.
Thank you, dear. I'm talking about this fucking dog shit movie. It's a good movie. Okay, here's the thing. It could have been beautiful. It could have been perfect. It was a near perfect adaptation. This whole stream was an excuse to rant about this fucking inclusion. I swear to God. I'll talk about Dracula movies now because I finished explaining the novel. This whole stream is an excuse to talk about this fucking part. And before anyone says anything, I know this movie wasn't the one to create the plot point that Mina is Dracula's wife reincarnated, that honor belongs to Bram Stoker's Dracula 1974 version. But again, this is the one that popularized it. It's a beautiful movie. Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, like, Gary Oldman as Dracula is really fucking cool. But they, like, take his character, they just make him, like, a little sympathetic little sad boy. His backstory is that he was a warrior of God who, which is weird, a warrior of God who lost his wife and turned to, like violence and blood-sucking and became a vampire. And what could have been... It's a beautiful movie. The casting is phenomenal. The aesthetic, the reincarnation plot is so insane and unnecessary. It reads like they wanted to paint Dracula as more sympathetic, but instead of building upon what was already present. Because there's already shit there. He has soft moments with Jonathan. He has his moments. You could have just taken those and expanded upon them. But no, you decided to be straight and add this stupid fucking subplot. And all it does is take away Mina's agency of where she's a nice person. So of course she feels bad for Dracula. You could have just done that. But no, you had to make it that, like, the reason why she feels so attracted to him is because she is his long-lost wife reincarnated. That just takes away all of her fucking agency and just makes her into just, like, a stand-in new wife just dropped.
Yes.
It makes me so mad. That's the problem I also have with soulmate AUs in just general. I never liked them. The only time I liked them was in Double Life, because they do it and they have fun with it, and like it's a lot cooler there. But like this shit, I fucking hate this shit. I hate the reincarnation. It's only done good in Castlevania. That's it. Yeah, it really reads like you need a reason to have sympathy. You can't just be a sympathetic person. It has to be like, oh, the reason why you feel sympathetic is because you're... it's like the reason why you feel sympathetic is because you're actually his wife reincarnated. Like, no, you could just be a nice fucking person. It's like those fucking Darman videos or some shit where he's just like, you see, the reason why she felt so personally offended when her son threw away food was because she used to be homeless, so she gets what that's like. It could just be like, she's just a nice person. She just doesn't like wasting food. Like, it just makes me so fucking mad. It makes me so fucking mad. I think I might have deleted the Interview with the Vampire Slack. Because I got too mad at it. God. Dracula Torment Edition! But anyway, so they quote unquote needed to add a romance aspect to suck in audiences to try to paint Dracula as the misunderstood villain who Mina can fix. And it worked! And I hate it! It worked! That's the part that sucks! And the movie created what I like to call the, ooh, wait, vampires are sexy era. Because after this movie came out, shit was, like, never the same. I got my vampire sexy media, but at what cost? The cost was Twilight. Oh,
God.
Anyway, fuck this movie. I hate it. Yeah, it's arguably the best one so far, but I hate the Elizabeth the backstory so much it makes it a 5 out of 10. Fuck you. It could be lower. But Dracula 1992 really did change, like, everything. It really did.
Yay.
The film was a raging success and established a new era for cinematic vampires. It's because, like, shortly after this movie, Interview came out in 1994. Interview with a Vampire was, like, the same aesthetic, very Victorian, gothic, gay bitches.
Yeah.
And honestly, I genuinely do not think it would have been as raging of a success it was if it wasn't for Dracula 1992.
Fair.
And Interview was a fantastic movie. I fucking love Interview with a Vampire. It's so fucking good. It's me, I'm gay, bitches. Search your Kaya. It also created the tropes we still see to this day. So, retractable fangs, steampunk aesthetics, and Batman demon forms. So instead of just turning into a bat, he also has like a demon form type shit, which you see in a lot of media. Dracula's lore shifting from a more horrifying to sympathetic and pitiful caused a ripple effect that later led to more sympathetic, sad vampire stories like Vampire Diaries, Twilight, gayer and gayer film, TV show adaptations of Interview with a Vampire. My favorite Tumblr post is that Anne Rice hasn't been in the grave for more than a few months. They've already got Lestat and Louis raw dogging on live TV.
good.
Because the new BBC show of, I think BBC, of Interview with the Vampire, those men fuck in a church, like episode 1.
Let's go. Gay rights.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, the new show, they're fucking raw dogging in the church. They're raw dogging it in the church. That shit went ham.
Good for them.
They do,
Good for
mystery,
them.
they do. Good for them. Good for them. So yeah, Luis and Lestat fucking raw dogging this.
We love some gay
Time to watch for science. Yeah, mystery.
We love some gay church sex.
We love it. It's perfect, honestly. The film's popularity created several comedic parodies in even an episode of Supernatural. Season 4, episode 5. I think about it often. I dream of it. Had the shapeshifter based his Dracula persona off of Gary Oldman Dracula. What We Do in the Shadows also heavily references the film and has several plot points in TV series that parallel the film. The anime Hellsing's vampire character Alucard is actually Dracula. Wow, shocking, I know. Who became a servant to the Hellsing family. His backstory is revealed in the anime to have been the same as the films, with him having a dead wife and how he went to England to find her reincarnation. I fucking love Alucard, God bless. And here's the only part that matters. The most important, in my opinion, legacy of the film is that it is a big old inspiration behind the popular game series Castlevania. Not just aesthetic-wise, but also Dracula's backstory. Lament of Innocence, Matthias Kronkvist, the man who would become Dracula, sought revenge after the death of his wife, Elisabetta, against God, and was turned into a vampire in the process, betraying Leon Belmont, which created... Val!
How have you never seen that?
Oh, Val, I love you so fucking much. I'm gonna make out. We're gonna make out. Yeah, Alucard's just Dracula backwards. That's why it's a twist. Wait, hold on. Everyone shut up. We're gonna look at Alucard, my son.
Oh god.
Let me just kick my feet real quick.
Oh,
I fucking
boy.
love him. I fucking love him. Look at him.
baby boy.
He's my baby boy. He's my king. I fucking love him. I would die for this man. I fucking love him so goddamn much. Oh my god, gender icon and just icon in general. Fucking love this man. And also, the one we're talking about specifically right now is the Helsing version. This is Alucard, aka Dracula. He's fucking
Let's
wicked.
go.
I love him.
I love him in his abridged series.
Everyone loves the abridged series, and you know what? Good. It's fucking smacks. It fucking
It's
smacks.
so good. I've never watched a single episode of this anime, but I love Hellsing Abridged so much.
It's so good. It's so good.
Just what do I was minding my business.
The only version of Dracula would smash, like, unironically. You know what? That's so fucking valid! God! Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Lament of Innocence. Matthias Kronkvist, when he becomes Dracula, he betrays the Belmont, which leads to the ongoing war between the vampires and the Belmont family. Sympathy of the Night, and also the anime on Netflix, debuted Lisa, Dracula's second wife and mother of her son Alucard, light of my fucking life! She was also killed, which launched Dracula into a rage, and he rained terror down on humanity. Lisa is the spitting image, reincarnation implied, of Elisabetta, and even her name is a nickname for Elisabetta. Also, Castlevania fucking smacks so goddamn hard because it took inspiration from not just the films, from the original novel also. Slay. Slay. Okay, so here's a surprise moderator Ashley interview. So I asked Ashley for her thoughts and opinions on Castlevania's Dracula, and she gave me an essay. I gotta pause the music for this one.
Oh god. Where's moderator Ashley, my beloved? I'm afraid.
In short, I think Dracula, the castle that Castlevania has created, is nothing short of iconic. I think a lot of it has to do with his design and Patrick Stees. Insert what his name is here. What is a man here? And also something interesting about Castlevania's Dracula is that he is somehow an idea and a person, which is reflected in his role throughout the series. Pre-Symphony of the Night Dracula is just a villain. He's Dracula. What else do you want? And then Symphony of the Night came in, and Ayami Kojima yassified him and his son. And Koji Igarashi said, "I'm going to give this man the bare minimum character development," and it fucking worked. So his "What is a man" speech is pretty iconic because, you know, how he mentions in the same speech that it is mankind that revived him. So as long as evil exists in the heart of mankind, he will return, and he's right because pulls the entire Castlevania series catalog. At the end of the game, Alucard states Dracula has lost because he lost the ability to love. Dracula asks him what Lisa's last words were, and then he dies asking for forgiveness, which is where the line is blurred between that part of Dracula is Dracula and which part is a manifestation of all things evil. Not to mention, he's often depicted to have death, literal death, as ever loyal subordinate. How that happened, I have no idea. I think it's just to show that he basically is the devil or something. His castle is also the manifestation of chaos, which is what it looks like, that it is always under constant renovations, it seems. I don't know about Dracula's actual backstory, but it seems that in Castlevania series, his fatal flaw is love. He started off as Matthias Kronqvist, a normal human, master, tactician, alchemist, whatever. Long story short, his first wife, Elizabetha, died from illness, and in his mourning, he decided to take revenge on God and live eternally. He deceived his best friend, Leon Belmont, killed his wife indirectly, and then asked for his friend to join him in eternal life. Leon refused and promised that he and his descendants would hunt him down forever. I need to take a sip of water.
Yeah.
I asked her this in the middle of the night, and she fucking wrote a goddamn essay.
Jesus Christ, try.
God, I'm not done. I promised her I would read it. I promised her I would read it. I need to fulfill my promise. I promise he and his descendants would hunt him down forever. So the eternal fight between Dracula and the Belmonts started because of a friend breakup, and Dracula exists because of grief and the evils that it can cause. Dracula exists to spite God. When he tries to move on, his second wife dies due to the very evils of mankind he represents. He cannot accept that life is fleeting. He is immortal, and he is an idea, and he will never truly die. Even when he is completely destroyed, he comes back as the soul of a random Spanish kid who lives in Japan. Yes, that's Soma Cruz. We'll talk about him. I love him. None of this is coherent, but whatever. I guess this kind of relates, but I think it's nice that Dracula does become some random college kid who is just there. Because before he's kind of fucked. He's an eternal cycle of his own making. Kind of makes you wonder if he actually defied God or is stuck in his punishment. But by becoming reincarnated into someone else, yeah, he's still there, but he's allowed to actually move on. So someone will probably die. He won't become Dracula. It's as close to redemption as he'll get.
Oh my god.
Here's the order to read it if you guys want to pause to read in the VOD.
Jesus.
So Castlevania is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I replied at 9:49 p.m. I was not expecting an essay. And I wasn't. I really wasn't. So here's my definitive ranking of all vampires ever. We got Dracula, the novel version, Dracula, the Castlevania version, Dracula, Bela Lugosi version, Dracula, Christopher Lee, Dracula, the Helsing version, Lestat from Interview with a Vampire, Soma Cruz, Castlevania, Arya/Dawn of Sorrow. He's a pathetic white-haired anime boy, and I love him. Look at him. Look at my son.
Oh god, where's Emily?
Look at my boy! Look at my white-haired anime boy. I fucking love him. He's an icon and a legend. Truly. The entire cast of what we do in the shadows. Keanu Reeves, I think is a vampire, personally. Rosalie Hale from Twilight. She slayed. Okay? She slayed. She slayed.
I've never watched Twilight a day in my life.
Oh my god!
So I don't know what that means.
I mean, CC Keanu Reeves! You know, there's C Keanu Reeves, and then there's CC Keanu Reeves. Where is Alice? Alice would be, number 0, because that's my fucking wife. That's my wife, cloaked. I can't rank my wife. That feels illegal. So, what can we take from all of this? What can we take from all of this? What? Well, for starters, read the novel. Or listen to an audiobook version. Overly Sarcastic Productions just posted her reading the entire novel.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I remember watching their original video on Dracula.
This is just a big promo video for Overly Sarcastic Productions.
Yo, I love Overly Sarcastic Productions.
Real.
10 out of 10.
Honestly. Or listen to the audiobook version. It's a fascinating novel written in a very distinct and original way. And honestly, if more people read it, I know they would like it. I know it's for a fact because Daily Dracula is super popular on Tumblr. Every gay bitch on Tumblr loves Daily Dracula. That's how I know people would like this fucking book. Also, I guess I like to say, there's a reason the gays love vampires. Not just the aesthetic. There's a history there. It's not just the religious trauma. There's a history, a very gay one. And there's articles upon articles with the queer subtext behind Dracula. That's the queer subtext behind really any vampire lore media based around it. It's an interesting subject to talk about, and I'm just so happy to be able to speak about it for all of you. Horror is for the gays. The vampires specifically, yeah, they're for the gays. I'm reclaiming them again. Sorry, everyone else. The end. For now. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm working on the next one already! Let's go! Yay! And that is the end of the deep dive, guys! We did it!
You exhaust me.
You love me.
I do. That was a fantastic deep dive, Chai, as always.
Thank you. I thought it was gonna be longer. I told you guys last year, I was like, this one isn't very long. But I just can't, I wanted to get it done. The last one traumatized me. That's why this one had to be short.
Please.
I knew if I did Dracula, I could get it one and done. Easy. Less than 3 hours. Look at that.
We did it.
I did it. When you do Wolfman, hit me up. You know what? I might as well. All right.
Nice.
That's the end of the stream, guys.
That was a wonderful job, Chai, as always.
Thank you. Did you like it? I worked very hard on it.
I loved it. It was so much fun, as always. I love your deep dives. You work so hard on them, and I'm
Thank
always
you.
here to enjoy them.
Oh my god. You know, Eden, you know what, Eden? If we work on it together, we can do the Overwatch lore. How about that?
Oh god.
Eden one day is going to take over my stream, and he's going to do the Overwatch lore.
April Fool's joke.
Oh, dear lord. I'm so scared.
Okay.
Well, we did it. I'm surprised that I got it done, and that you didn't kill me by the end of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yay, I'm glad.
I love, like I said, I was that bitch who read the Hamilton Lawrence letters religiously because those bitches were in love and those bitches were gay.
So true. So true.
Like,
who should we rate
like-
today, guys? Ghosties Live. I think they're doing Fable SMP. I'm not sure. There's Fire, Sherb, Zombie, Golden. Oh, it is lore. It's one of my favorite deep dives. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I really love talking about horror. I love talking about Dracula specifically, and it's just some of my favorite shit. It just makes me really happy. Oh, Zombie Cleo's like playing Minecraft.
ooh,
Let's go read Cleo.
it's fun.
My first try deep dive. That's true, Kaya. I forgot that. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad Zodi gave you a sub. Fucking Zodi, I was gifting too many goddamn subs. Freaking Zodi, I love ya. I'm glad everyone had fun. All right, let's go raid Zombie Cleo because you know what? She's also doing scary things, I think. I don't know how to spell. I wrote Cleo wrong.
Oh my god.
All right, everybody, get the fuck out of here.
Bye.
All right, bye everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy. Bye guys. Oh,
Follow me on TikTok.
follow Hidden on TikTok and TikTok is Hidden Sidekick. Bye. Mwah.
Try to get to 10K. Please help.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.